Well, we are supposed to be live now. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll just go through the sound check here, just make sure everything's working.
Yeah.
And there we go. How are we all today? Dr. Kersey, Rob W., Lee, Lost Souls, and of course the lovely Mrs. W. in the background there, as ever.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Supporting me and the channel, obviously. Anybody else in there? Well, what a week it's been, isn't it? Loads of bullshit from the government. People drowning before they even get to the channel. From France. Sorry, but to laugh at that. But after seeing what I'm seeing on the reports today, you got to laugh. This might sound sick to some people, but not to me. Paulette, good afternoon, sweetheart. Moo, good afternoon, buddy. Who else we got coming in? We got 12 in here. Hi to those in the background. We know you're there. Some of you are there for the right reasons. Some of you went bothered. But how are we all today? Going into what's supposed to be a bit of a warmer weekend, although it's not looking or feeling like it. But yeah, I'll start with the young girl that drowned. Now, apparently it was 12 mile inland in a canal. Now, the parents, obviously, they've suffered a loss. But watching mainstream media filming the funeral, oh, we paid thousands to get on this boat, which one lot said was purposely built for it. Well, it wasn't. It was a stolen riverboat, so they wouldn't have lasted at sea anyway, would it? It would have just capsized in the surf. Riverboats just aren't designed to go in the sea. Good afternoon, Grumps. How are you, buddy? But they're saying they will try again. So it just goes to show they don't give a shit about life. To me, the government are saying this all must be stopped. Well, if they want to stop it, stop giving them the incentives. Stop giving them everything when they get here. Don't give them a reason to come. How hard can it be? But I will say today, what have we got? Nearly 20 in so far. To all you ladies, happy International Women's Day. Apparently it is today. I mean that to those without dicks, proper women. That's who that's for, not these ones that have still got other bits. Grumpy Sapper, good afternoon, mate. Hello, stranger. Yeah, right, Holly. But, on International Women's Day as well. Oh, I was pissing myself this afternoon. I think she's the great granddaughter or something of one of the main people in the suffragette movement many years ago. Yeah, exactly, Grumpy Sapper. We don't, do we, mate? We're saying that we need a more balanced parliament. She would like to see 50-50 of each gender. Well, if you take all the genders going, that's one of each basically to fill the fucking house, isn't it? Stuart, good afternoon, mate. But I don't give a shit what gender they are. If they're in there and they do a good job of running the country, that's all it needs. I don't give a shit whether they got a dick or not, whether they got tits or not. We need people in there that will run the country fairly unbiasedly and run it for the people, not just the way they think it should. I mean, that's just my view of it. You know, they keep on about this diversity and inclusion. Well, obviously that don't fucking work, do it? I'll bet there'll be a trans day. Yeah, Grumpy Sapper. Well, we've got the rainbow people, haven't we? The alphabet people, they have their time. We got Black History Month. We've got the government now want to build a £1 million monument to Muslims that fought with us during the war. Well, there were many other countries that fought with us during the war. Sikhs, Australians, Canadians, Americans, Polish, Irish. And they all get named on all the cenotaphs around the country and monuments. All races, all creeds. So why do we need to spend another $1 million just to appease one religion? I believe that's wrong and it shouldn't be done. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. I did have some other notes. I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I've got all my notes on the budget here because that was obviously going to be a bit of a talking point today. I don't know whether you guys have got any views on what that evil little bastard Hunt said.
What a waste of time.
Yes, it was an absolute total waste of time.
Middle class parent, you're all right. Anybody else?
Mans, good afternoon. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing there. There was a lot he didn't mention, actually, as well, which I'll get into in a minute. Now, he didn't give us anything. The normal little man in the street, he kept saying, we'll gain this, we'll gain that. Tuppence. No, we won't. We will, unless you're earning 40, 50 grand a year, you won't see a thing. Oh, Matt, yeah. I gathered that by the way you said hello, mate. Mangled. But yeah, he's given nothing to the common garden man, as I like to call myself. There was nothing on benefits, or not that he mentioned, nothing on pensions. And he also didn't mention that car tax would be going up. For those of you that drive, you will obviously know by now that insurance has gone up a hell of a lot. But they want to hammer us even further. Personally, with the state of the roads, I don't think we should be paying any. He did mention they were allocating so many million for council services and, social services. Why, on the other hand, most councils are saying they're cutting back, but going to charge you more for it. Birmingham, here in Birmingham Council, are a prime example. They want to put it up 10% this year. Blitzer, good afternoon. Now, I do believe, as I said in a video in the week, they can't actually put it up that high without a referendum. But it seems they're going to ignore the law, ignore the government, and they're going to try and do it anyway. I thought we had notification here of what it was going to be, but I was wrong. It was notification of the rent going up, what that's going up this year. But saying they're going to put it up 10%, and then in the next breath saying we're going to have to cut back on a lot of the services. And the services they're looking at cutting back, obviously, is what the services for the kids, services for the elderly. That will suffer. That was always going to happen. Although we do pay extra on that in most councils anyway. So, yeah, you're lucky over there, Stuart. But yeah, they're saying again, as Stuart mentioned there, water services and charges. They want more money to repair what they've fucked up over the years. Good afternoon, Paul. I'll take it it's Paul or Nathan, whoever's on the other end. Well, we've already paid for those upgrades. We've already paid for those over the years and years. We've been paying extortionate amounts for our water. Oh, it's Paul. Good afternoon, Paul. I never know which one of you it is on there, mate. So why should we have to pay more? Claw it back. Get it off your fucking investors, whatever. They're the ones that have made the profit out of it. They're the ones that have got the money. Get it back off of them. That's what I say. What else have we got? Obviously, as I said in the video on the other channel, the energy price, they haven't changed the price cap on energy, but with the level it's set at to what we're paying, believe it or not, nobody other than industry or real heavy users are getting anywhere near that price cap. So it does leave them scope to put ours up again, believe it or not. Fuel duty, diesel, petrol, they've frozen that at the 5%. Well, I've heard reports of petrol going up by 4p a litre anyway in the last couple of weeks. But this does actually debunk my idea that we were going to get a May election. Chris, good afternoon, mate. Been a while. Yeah, there's going to be another budget in the autumn. So right before supposedly the election. So I can see big cuts being made there. But we're not getting anything for our money, basically. I think they should stop funding the Ukraine, obviously. It's not our fucking war. Too much of our money has gone into that, and we've suffered because of it, which we shouldn't have to. Nobody's been short of bread or cakes or flour, so their bullshit over the grain shortage that allegedly all came from the Ukraine is a load of bollocks. Don't worry, Rob, they can all see your name, mate. Yeah, we're both good here. Yeah, and now today the reports are that our military is in trouble because they can't afford to fund it. I wonder why. You know, anything we had in stock that was usable for NATO arms, most of that's been sent to the Ukraine and wasted. Likewise, drones, equipment. And there's supposed to be a lot of our guys over there on the ground now as well. I do apologise for any slurring and whistling. I'm still trying to get my tongue around these new teeth. They're like a fucking gum shield. Yeah, there's a lot of changes coming, Stuart. Don't forget, there's a lot of Tory MPs have actually handed in their notice that they won't be standing again after the election. Yes, Chrissy, we do or did have a very high military payout. Believe it or not, I believe that was mainly because of NATO. They were saying, you've got to have this, you've got to have that. You know, we've always had a good military. but now it's waning because of the way the guys and girls have been treated once they leave or get injured. Now, if that's an incentive that they think it is to get more people to sign up, I don't think so. And they're really, really suffering, especially once it all got out about their diversity and inclusion. And if you're a honky, you ain't fucking getting in. What sort of attitude's that? You know? And this government in particular, I will openly call them out as traitors, because they have disrespected every serving military personnel that we have ever had by their actions, by the way they run the country, by the way they've let people in the country unopposed. To me, they're treasonous. They have disrespected every single one of those people that have either served and prepared to serve and defend this country, and those that died doing it. And I said, not, as I said in the beginning, not just us. There was a lot of people fought for us. And every single one of them deserves respect, whether they survived or not. They were willing to put their lives on the line, and many did, and many didn't come back. Good afternoon, getting around the teeth, Paranormal X. Yes, Grumpy Sapper, a lot of people were, mate. A lot of people were proud to serve. And look how they treated everybody afterwards. They got what they wanted. Fuck them off. You're on the scrap heap. You know, to me, that is absolutely disgusting. So, can of me go juice. I was up early this morning. I ain't had a kip. But on the other hand, the smoking's going well. I'd run out of tobacco. I'd finished using it up. When was it? Wednesday. I got to hold my hands up. I have had a couple of cigarettes since then, which
pinched off me.
Yeah, I stole off of Mrs. W. And I didn't particularly like them because she likes slightly menthol.
You're all right, Sunday.
Yeah, that's all right, Paranormal X. That's not a problem, sweetheart. You know, there are people, I've got some old friends that like to sit in the background and just watch and listen. Friends from back home from years ago. They do contact me through Facebook and other means. They just don't like to have themselves in public in reality, which I respect. You know, at least they're letting me know they're there. But yeah, no, if you work out, well, the figures that I heard on the budget, that's upwards of £46 billion that he was going to give away. We haven't got £46 billion. So to my mind, this is just what the Bank of England in particular, or whoever's running the Bank of England officially, you don't know, could be the Rothschilds, could be BlackRock, could be anybody. But I believe that is the limit that they have set that they can borrow. That me and you will have to pay back, by the way. Not the government, we have to pay it back. They're borrowing it on our behalf. If you tried to borrow money on someone else's behalf, that would be illegal, wouldn't it? It would be fraud. But unfortunately, the government can do it with impunity. Yes, sure. Back in those days, mate, it did turn people into men. It did turn lads into men, no matter what your background was. But I don't think it'll work with the woke that are signing up now. Not a chance. You know, that they're too worried about, oh, my skirt's too low, or my bollocks are hanging below my skirt hem, you know. But I shouldn't say that, really, should I? But I did like the meme that was doing the rounds today with the picture of ACDC, International Women's Day. For those without cocks, we salute you. Oh, that was fucking brilliant. Absolutely, whoever came up with that one. Yeah, the defence spending, according to my notes that I made in the week, literally, they said we'll spend when the economy allows. Well, considering I see us in recession and we haven't got the money to spend, that's totally off the table, isn't it? But again, for those that didn't see the video, the police are getting 230 million for a new computer. Yeah. Oh, that's totally thrown me. Sorry, I got a message coming in. Yeah, they're going to use this computer apparently to make it easier to make complaints and report crime. ATL, good afternoon, mate. From over there, the other side of the pond. Welcome, buddy. I don't know what time of the day it is over there at the moment. My head's all over the place at the moment. But what is the use of reporting crimes if they're not going to turn out and try and solve them? They're saying, oh, some crimes aren't worth looking into because there's no evidence against anybody. Well, how do you know if you don't look? You know, all crime should be investigated as far as I'm concerned. Yes, ATL, they are over here, mate. They are really trying to cut down, especially censoring on social media, obviously. But the police are the ones that are doing a lot of it in public. They seem to think it's illegal to walk around waving our union flag now in many things. They're calling it a hate crime. Yeah, there's terrorists on the streets waving their little flags and shouting hate crime. But when we do it, it's illegal. They're fine. We're far right wing, apparently, according to the government. But yeah, it's the police. To me now they're not a police force. They're not a police force. They're a government strong arm, which in a lot of places has gone rogue. I just seen this in the places. Well, most of the time, Paul, they don't even look at it, mate. They just give you a crime number and that's it. Phil, good afternoon, buddy. Yeah, it's the crime number for insurance purposes. Well, if you've had £100,000 motor stolen, to me, that's not a small crime. That's a lot of money. Admittedly, motors like that should have trackers on them. Yes, they are ATL. They are a political party on their own account. Especially that dickhead who's in charge of the Met, Rowley, the one that 2-3 years ago promised to sort out the wrong'uns. Yeah, I know, Paul. I know, mate. I've seen what you post about them, especially your mob over there. They seem to be a lot worse than what we're getting, and ours are bad enough. But they, we used to see it most walking the beat or mooching around. You'd see a couple of them, a pair of them. Now you just see like a pack of hyenas, as I call them, preying on the wounded, preying on victims of crime rather than trying to catch perpetrators.
Moving on the homeless.
Yeah, the homeless. Moving on the homeless, nicking their equipment, nicking their stuff. I mean, to me, that's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I know over there, ATL, it's a little bit different because they're all armed. I mean, we have seen a lot of the videos over here of them shooting unarmed people. matey that they shot up in their own squad car that was cuffed because an acorn fell on the roof and he thought he was being shot at. There was the 2 female cops that double mag dumped a woman through her front door, even though she was innocent. They constantly raid the wrong properties and shoot the tenants or the owners. But on the other hand, if they get caught and proved wrong over there, they do pay a lot more heavier penalties than we do here. They do over here. Although our gun cops have been in the mainstream media news today, particularly over that Chris Cabba shooting. They've actually named the officer, which is very unusual. Yes, Paranormal, I saw that. That was absolutely disgusting. A stage 4 cancer patient getting evicted from a home with the help of the police. That is the levels they've sunk to. That is just bang out of order. Bang out of order, that was. It's sickening what they've become. It really is. I mean, I liken it to 1930s Germany with the way they're carrying on. I mean, you can't walk into a large train station now without them poking a fucking dog nose up your trouser leg or mooching through your bag. Yeah, Paranormal, when I was young, we used to give them respect. Yes, we used to play them up. Obviously, we were kids with motorcycles. That's always going to get up their nose. But that was in the days when they'd rather give you a clip round the ear or go and tell your parents what you've been up to. But now, tasered, shot, locked up. You have a gambling fever, yeah. But I've got no faith in them. I've got no trust in them. Chamberlain, that's better. But yeah, I've got no trust in them whatsoever, to be honest. And I wouldn't trust them as far as I can fucking throw them. Drone, good afternoon, bud.
Don't miss much.
Yeah. That's all right, mate. It's all right. It's not an issue. Like I said, tell people it's not mandatory that you've got to come in here. Far from it. You know, I'd rather have people that come in because they want to, rather than just because it's on. You know. With that, I will say next week there won't be a live on Friday. It's going to be on Wednesday evening, probably 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock. One, I want to see what difference it makes doing it in the evening. And 2, it's my birthday. So
any plans of surprising you with having the family round and now out the window?
Bloody right. There's a lot of the elites buying up bunkers, Paranormal. You know, you've only got to look at the wankers in Parliament. Well, we want 31 million to have personal security. Well, if you were running the country right and the people trusted you, you wouldn't need any of that. I mean, Khan, I can understand that with what that little dictator's been up to. His new one that he's come out with now is if you own what he classes as a gas guzzler, an SUV, you will pay £16 an hour to park in London. £16 an hour. That is more than what a lot of people fucking earn per hour. And he wants to charge you £16 an hour to park your motor. They really need to get that prick out. They really do need to remove him. Londoners have got to wise up. Yeah, he's trying to drive every single car and lorry out of London Paranormal. It's just a shame that a lot of Londoners can't leave the city. They can't afford to sell. And with that, he wants to build thousands of new homes on Canary Wharf. Well, Canary Wharf is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in the country. It's where all the bankers live. You've got offices, isn't it?
They won't be social housing, will they?
They won't be social housing whatsoever. But there's a lot of towns and cities now that are actually rejecting this environmental shit over the cars because they know it's going to kill the city or the town. We've got it here in Birmingham. Luckily enough, we don't go into the city here, or very rarely. And it will just drive trade and people away from the city because it won't be a viable option to work or live there. They just want to take too much off you. Yes, sure. Unfortunately, during some strikes, quite a few years back here now, there were laws brought in where they can't do that. Also, when you think a lot of the truckers in this country aren't owners, they work for companies who issue the vehicles, provide the trailers. And there's so many foreigners around that can drive them, they will just take anybody on that's willing to drive into the city. Unlike in New York, a lot of the truckers over there are independents, but they do work for certain companies. And the companies and the CEOs are saying absolutely fine. They totally agree with the truckers. They're saying, if you don't want to deliver there, we're not going to force you. We're not going to take your job away from you. Yes, Dr. Kersey. I've always said that Guy Fawkes is the only person that has ever entered Parliament with honest intent. Addicted, I suppose, drone. Aphobic. Yeah. I've never actually looked into that word, to be honest. What else was I going to bring up before I open it up? Yeah, they're doing away with non-dom as well, aren't they? Literally, that budget it was aimed at making the rich richer, as far as I'm concerned, keeping the elites happy. Yes, they may make a bit more out of them on tax, and I believe this is why they haven't shut down the energy companies on what they're charging. When you think British Gas, their profit went up 700% between 22 and the end of last year. Now you imagine the extra tax that the government's getting off of that, especially with the windfall tax and shit like that. They're making more money off that profit than they are if they bring the bills down and us paying. So obviously they're going to keep that going. But I think they'll push us to struggle again until the autumn. I don't think the energy prices will come back down because come the autumn, everybody's going to want their heating back on. The lights will go on earlier in the day because of the darker evenings. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that go up. But there will be a lot more concessions made at the autumn budget. I don't know why they keep calling it a statement, because it's not a statement. He didn't need to mention all the fucking areas that he was talking about. I preferred the old way of doing it, where the Chancellor just sat there, said, this is going up, that's going down, this is going... It was a lot easier to understand. And I believe the reason they do it that way now is to confuse people. So you have to sit and work out exactly what's going on. Resist, good afternoon, mate. Welcome. Is it no, mate? I can't put racing frame on my back. Yeah, is that them real quick ones, Drone? I've seen a few of them on the game shows and that fly around on there. Fucking hell, I think they are. Yeah, the thing is, Paul, over here, the truckers get treated like shit. Well, they probably do over there as well. There's no facilities for them. You know, they could be away for 2 or 3 days, longer if you're abroad. I mean, I had the class 2, literally because we were running quite a big lorry on the agriculture side of things, the landscaping. And I was the only one that was viable to really take the test. But I let it lapse by a day without renewing it. And I'd have had to take the test again, and I didn't need it at the time. So I didn't bother. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Paul, is a lot of guys, they used to earn good money doing the European runs and continental runs, but it's not worth it anymore. When you think a person could sneak into your trailer by any means, you can search it, but if you don't see them and you get this side of the water, that's a 10 grand fine. Why? You didn't deliberately put them in there. If they get hurt in there, they endangered themselves. Again, that is not your responsibility. Yep, the law seems to think it is. And as we know, the justice system here is an absolute ass. It's a fucking mockery. It's not a justice system at all. Far from it. Let's get that annoying banner out of the way. Forgot I put that up. No, it's not, Paul. It's not worth it, mate. I mean, the Reverend Simon Sideways, he's on regular runs. He gets treated bad enough. But when you're on the long haul, your hands are tied. Those are on your back all the time. And they will pull you up for this piss-ass little things. One good bit of news on the road is that they've done away with, or going to do away with the 60 mile an hour speed restrictions they put in certain places. The M1, I believe, was one of the main routes, because it doesn't do anything for the environment, slowing the cars down. In fact, it does more damage, because at the slower speeds, the cars struggle a little bit more, so they use more fuel, cause more pollution.
Take longer to get through.
Yeah, it takes longer to get through an area, exactly. So they're going to lift those. Yeah, we've got a member, well, someone who is going to be a member of the family this month. Once he marries Heather's daughter, they go over regular for different things. I think most of it's removals.
It is.
But they say that it's hell of a job. And you're coming back, they're all carrying weapons as well. They've all got knives and shit like that. And even if you don't stop and they can't get in, they'll slash your swindle sheets, they'll slash your tyres, all sorts. But let's before I forget. Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
I think so.
Yeah, that was a bit out of order, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'll bang that up there just in case anybody wants to join in. But
Hi,
anyway,
Stitch.
how are you guys? Stitch, good afternoon, sweetheart. Oh, yes. Before I forget, I'm going to pin another link, if I can get this right, in the chat. Those of you that are regulars will know of Bearded Veteran. Well, him and some of his mates are doing a 48-hour marathon live stream starting at 7:30 tonight, so half an hour after I finish. If anybody wants to go over, support them, or drop in over the weekend, say hi. Obviously, likes, even if you drop in for half an hour. It's all to do with modelling, usually military models, but they could be doing anything. I think they're just going to do one model build complete in 48 hours. But if you want to go over there and support them, that's the link. I will be dropping in there myself at some point. But they're all veterans, and there's going to be guys there from Australia, America, from all over the world. You know, these are the guys that put their asses on the line, and a lot of them have been shit on since. Steve, good afternoon, mate. But that's running from 7:30 this evening. If anybody's got a dead spot in their day tomorrow or one evening, please feel free, drop in, give them a bit of support. You don't have to say I sent you. I do fully support them, but just drop in. But how are the rest of you in there? Anybody got anything else they want to bring up or ask? I've done my usual bit. I've been through what notes I've got here. There are a lot more there, but most of you would have already heard me talking about those because they're off this week's video. Oh yeah, we've got the Oscars coming in. We we know that, Holly. You're always awesome. I don't know whether Dan is putting out any videos today. Oh yeah, he's just posted one, or a little while back. I only just got the notification. Ooh. Gas coming out the other end now. Sorry about that.
I want to stop feeding you.
Well, there's something that's been really doing it to me.
You didn't have onions either.
Oh, and not 12-year-old, 11-year-old caught driving up the motorway with an SUV and a bloody great caravan. A 12-year-old. 11-year-old, sorry. Where the hell did he get that from to start with? Hello, Brian. Good afternoon, mate. Yes, he has, Brian. Since he's been back, he's really getting back into the swing of it. Bearded Veteran, good afternoon, Mikey. I did put your link in up there a bit. We will be putting it back in again shortly. Are those the plans for the bank robbery? Yes, Sean. Complete with dates and diagrams. And radio frequencies. Yeah, I've been a bit scarce on the ground, Beardy. I haven't been able to drop in as much this week. Obviously, there's been one hell of a lot going on. with the budget and a lot of things coming up in the news. It's been a bit hectic. What people don't see is me in the background answering emails, messages. It's not all sit in front of the camera to do a 10-minute video. There's a lot more to it than that. Although a lot of my stuff is personal stuff. I've got relatives over in Ireland that talk to me regular, and I've got a lot of my old schoolmates. And I know one or two of them watch in the background here. So hi guys. I'm still alive, surprisingly. And I do talk to those a lot. But it's nice that, we've started to get back in touch with each other. I think it was it Jenny Wynn. I did get a message from her earlier on. She's having some fun and enjoying the weekend with the kids somewhere, I do believe so. But said she'd be watching. So if you're watching, Jen, hi, sweetheart.
Hello to the kids.
And yeah, hello to the kids. Hope you're having fun.
Because Eleanor thought it was amazing showing her friend that you were on YouTube. You were YouTube famous.
I'm far from YouTube famous with 5,500 subs and
to her, darling, to her.
To her, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Holly's going to start talking in Welsh now, isn't it? What was your old CB handle? Christ, mine used to be the Confederate.
I was Midnight Owl.
Midnight Owl?
What?
Not Brown Owl.
No. Because I only ever went on when the kids had gone to bed.
Yeah, I was always known as the Confederate. And me, remember the eyeball cards? That was the Confederate flag. We all had those in the dashboard, didn't we? Yeah, back in the days of AM when you could stick 500 watts on there and talk to the guys over in America and all over the continent before they bought in this silly system. Oh, we should go up on the top of White Horse Hill on the Berkshire Downs. We used to get everywhere, even with a standard 4-watt rig.
I wasn't in a car, I was in a flat. It was a bit difficult to go mobile.
Chronophobic was White Swan. Yeah, that mine did change in the later years once people got to know me and realised I used to race cars. I adopted, or they named me, adopted the name Psycho. But around Oxford and Oxfordshire, Berkshire, I was always known as the Confederate. And at one point, I did have a Mark III 2-litre Cortina with the Confederate flag painted on the roof like the General Lee. Looked a complete dick, but that was the thing back then. Yeah, we used to use sideband all the time. I did get onto 2 meters at one point, but the bastards wouldn't talk to me, obviously, because I was an unlicensed operator, and you had to give your number and call sign before anybody would speak to you. There were 1 or 2 rogues on there who would speak, but not very often. Yeah, I know how you feel, Mikey. I got up quite late this morning, actually. I didn't get up till, it was gone 6, which is late for me. I'm normally up around 3:30, 4. I do have some American friends and a couple of Canadians that I talk to. Christ, my nose is getting a bit bunged up here. What we got? No breaking reports. No, it's no good trying to talk like that, is it? Mark 1 Escort with a Confederate flag on the top. Yeah, my Cortina did end up with a Rover V8 in it at one point. It went on the banger track after that. Cheryl, good afternoon, sweetheart. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the likes. Let's see if I refresh, see if that makes any bloody difference. It doesn't automatically update here for some reason. Oh, we got 24. It was saying 5 just now. But
yeah, I've got
I've
39
still got my
watching
Ham
and 2
International
likes.
Jumbo. Jesus. Yeah, I had the TriStar, the 7, was it the 747? Something like that. And I also had a big base station as well. Yeah, Paul, it's probably the most versatile engine there is, and it was all certainly the most common one in modified cars in my day. How fast did the Bandit car do? Quarter mile. Oh, me Pontiac. I got it down into the 10-second bracket with street fuel. We weren't allowed to use nitrous mixed with the fuel for extra power, but I did use it as a coolant on the manifolds. But that was running it was a big block engine, 7.4 litre, with twin 850 double pumpers on a Blackjack Ram tunnel and open headers, properly balanced engine. But it would top out on a quarter mile, not very fast, probably around 140 if you really kept it going. But it was a big heavy car. It wasn't a lightweight race car. It was a standard body and chassis. Although the chassis had to be braced because I did twist it with the torque twist. But it was exactly the same year as the Bandit one. Started on Amstrad 405. Yeah, I used to have the whole Midland thing. Little 40 channel and a handheld 40 channel. That used to be good fun. We'd be out on the bikes with it.
York.
Eh?
York. That was mine. It was a York.
York, yeah, that was another model. York. I always had a K40 Mike and Ariel because that was the best that was going at the time. So, Mikey, what's the build today? You all just doing one and doing it over the 48 hours from start to finish, or are you going to do several models? Just in case anybody's interested. It was certainly an unusual one you did the other day. Tracing and signals. Yeah, same as you could tell when someone was using a battery charger to run one, wasn't it? Want me to come up and explain? Yeah, you can pop up if you want, Mikey. Explain what you're doing and what's happening around it. Absolutely, mate.
Drum up some support.
You know, hopefully we might be able to, as Heather just said, drum up a bit of support for you.
Get your cuppa sorted first.
Get your cuppa sorted. Talking of which, I must go and grab a drink.
Oh, I thought you were going to get me to go and make you another cuppa.
No, I don't want another coffee. Cool.
Dead air. Just what you need.
What?
Dead air. I'm not going. By the time I got over there, you'd have been back.
Well, exactly. Ooh. But yeah, the old CB days, you know, they were way better than what they are now. Obviously, we're a bit of an underground system because the radios we were running were illegal. And I'll be honest, I used to bring a lot of mine back from Southern Ireland, where they were a lot cheaper. Good afternoon, Princess Angela. Thank you, Holly. Oh, that's is that the same link as I got? No.
Did you put up the wrong link?
No, it's the link that Mikey sent me this morning.
Oh, well.
But yeah, the CBs back then, I mean, the truckers had their own channel, obviously. And several channels were dedicated to different things and doing different things, and it worked quite nicely. As soon as they made it legal, it all went to fuck. Rippy, good afternoon, buddy, or very nearly evening now. Yeah, that's the other thing. These fucking QR codes all the time. Everything is a QR code. What have we got here? It's the driver's Wiseman. There's only one person who's got a beard that looks like that. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, buddy.
Yeah, if you want to explain exactly what's going on and that, that'll give me my throat a bit of a break for 5 minutes.
Right, so I'm supported by an organisation called Models for Heroes. They support veterans and members of Blue Light Services to engage with scale modelling activities and things like that. They're not allowed, because they're an organisation, they're not allowed to actually ask for donations. However, one of the volunteers is a YouTuber called Model Officer. So each year, on the anniversary of him starting his channel, he does a 48-hour fundraiser. And what the guys do is they've got guys in the UK, YouTubers in the UK, YouTubers in Australia, in the Netherlands, and in the USA. And they all take it in turns for 48 hours doing live streams. And you build, the lads build a 148 scale model. I think this year they're doing 24 because it's 2024. But we all build a model together, and we have to build it within the 48 hours.
But all the same model, like same.
No, any model we want.
Any model.
Yeah, it's usually usually has to be 148 scale, but this year we're doing any scale model. But you have to be able to make it in 48 hours.
Because I came up with a bloody good idea for a diorama for you in my head the other day.
Yeah.
You remember the film Kelly's Heroes?
Yeah.
The town scene where they got the Sherman up behind the tiger and shot it with the pink paint shell.
Yeah.
That to me would oddball, wouldn't it? That to me would make a brilliant diorama.
Yeah.
You know, with the splash of paint on the back of the tiger, the turret stuck against the walls. That would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So they're doing the live stream, and what I'm doing is because I'm also a member of a group called Friends of Models for Heroes, who promote Models for Heroes, their aims, help raise funds and things like that. So what we're doing is we're running a Discord channel that's open to anyone who wants to watch and join in, where you can either just sit and talk to the veterans and the guys from Models for Heroes, or you can build a model along with them and things like that on the actual channel. And it's running for the full, me and one of the other lads are running it for a full 48 hours.
Drones put in there, do you put them in dioramas? Yes, he does make dioramas, drones, some quite good ones as well.
Oh, thank you.
Bear in mind, you haven't been doing it that long, have you?
Just over a year.
Just over a year, but he has done some real good ones. He's quite often on the Vita. That's why I said that was an unusual one, that.
Yeah.
Because there's not much to it externally. It's all internal.
Yeah.
So,
What I'm doing
to
is I'm
to
putting
me, that would have just been a big explosion in the middle of a board. With a
See,
set of
what I'm
things.
doing is I've made a box for it to sit on, and I'm putting it on the base in the middle on a launch pad, a circle launch pad.
Yeah.
Around the outside, I'm putting grass, and then I'm putting some floodlights on it, and then some smoke and lights coming out the bottom, like cotton wool smoke with lights inside them coming out the bottom.
Nice. The M4 disc. Yes, Holly. Well, we go in there quite a bit when we got the time.
Well, today, Rog. Well, for the next 48 hours, it's open to anyone, even if they're not a member. So if you wanted to pop in and meet some of the lads, you're more than welcome to come along. The link, as you know, is on my Facebook page.
Yeah, I did. That was the one you sent me this morning, wasn't it? In the message.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one I put in here. It's also, if anybody does want it afterwards, you don't have to go back through the chat to find it. It's actually posted in the description of this live stream. So if anybody wants to go back and find it, you can without too much hassle. So, no, I hope it goes well for you. You know, we can drum up as much support as we can here. As I say, I might get a time to drop in. Bear in mind it's Mothering Sunday this Sunday, and we've got Heather's daughter and that over here for dinner as well, unless they're being taken out.
I better invite my son, hadn't I?
Really? Do you think he's going to turn up? He still hasn't come round to collect his birthday present yet.
Yes, I took it round.
Should show some more on the live chats. What do you mean the models, drone?
I've got plenty of them. You should see my stash.
The thing is, as Mikey will admit himself, it's not everybody's kettle of fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why different things are done on different channels. Like Mikey's got his Discord, he's also got YouTube, and he's also got Facebook.
Yeah, I've also got Instagram as well.
You got Instagram?
Modeling history.
I'm going in there, mate. I keep away from them sort of things like Telegram, and so I'm not even on Twitter.
Well, this weekend is actually it's quite touching, really, because the Australians are doing their own auction. The people in the guys in the Netherlands are doing an auction. Guys in the US are doing an auction, and the people in the UK in the auction are doing an auction, and all the money is going to support Models for Heroes in the UK, so that they can better support veterans and members of the blue light community and things.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's support for veterans in this country. I mean, obviously everybody's the Royal British Legion. To me, from what I've looked into, the British Legion are holding and sitting on to an awful lot of money that could be put to very, very good use.
I can't really comment on that really because I'm on here on behalf
I know.
Heroes, so.
It puts you in a bit of a difficult position, but that's just from what I've found out.
Yeah.
To my mind, I would rather support some of these charities where the money goes directly to the veterans. It isn't used for anything else. Nobody's getting paid to run the charity. So 100% of the funds go to where it's needed.
Go onto the Model Officers channel after 7 o'clock tonight. Well, 6 o'clock, sorry. The chairman and founder of Models for Heroes will be on there.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be talking about what he's done. And literally, he was a stay-at-home dad who decided to go to Help for Heroes and help out there and run a scale modeling session. And he realized that it was having that positive an impact that he set up his own organization. And he doesn't take a wage from it or anything.
No.
And we've got hundreds of veterans who have been getting, kits, and what the money goes to is providing kit and tools and everything.
it's a sad fact that a lot of the bigger charities that, nothing to do with this, just general
Yeah.
charities, they do pay out a lot of money to people to run them.
Yeah.
And I believe if you're doing a charitable thing, then you shouldn't ask for money for it.
No.
Cover expenses if you've got, office equipment and stuff like that you need to do it. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
But to take a personal wage out of it, I believe that's wrong. Because
Yeah.
most of them aren't doing it full time.
He's a lovely guy, the chairman. He's a gentle giant. He's 6'6". He's built
Believe
like
it or not,
Wookiee.
I actually joined the British Legion in Newquay.
Yeah.
The club. They wanted me to join simply because of my dart playing abilities at the time. Went through all the initiation and that. And it was absolutely fine till I walked in one day with a cap on, a baseball cap, which most people know is an absolute no-no. And me being pissed up, I said, well, what's the issue then? Well, it's an insult to the Queen. I said, okay, so why didn't you take your fucking hat off when you met her then? And that was it. Membership revoked, you're out. One comment, gone. I thought, yeah, I mean, you get someone come in that's got cancer, wants to keep a hat on. What, to me, that was a pointless rule, an absolute pointless rule. But hey, it is what it is, and they lost a good darts player. But they couldn't stop me going in when the new team I played for went there. Under the rules, doesn't matter who you got playing with them. You're allowed in to play on the team, which really pissed them off because we used to beat them, whoop their asses every time.
Yeah.
But that's another story. It's a shame I ain't got my album here, actually. I took it back up. I've got a picture of in there of when I won the county darts singles.
Yeah.
With a big cup on stage and many, many moons ago.
Yeah, I mean, you've known me longer than I've been with M4H. I think you've probably seen the difference in how much more relaxed I've become.
Yeah. Paul, take care, buddy.
Paul.
Might see you Sunday on Pap Stream if you're about. But say hi to Nathan and the lads and the ladies for us over there. And most of all, be safe, mate. Stay safe out there. Because he does put himself in the Pearson eye faces, I'll tell you. Yeah. I don't know whether you've seen any of his videos. He's a bit like me. He don't take no shit. Cheers for dropping in, Paul. Respects, buddy. Oh, it was Nathan's birthday the other day as well. Wish him happy birthday for me. I did put it in Facebook, but I will say it on here openly. Happy birthday to Nathan if you're watching out there. And that's Nathan in Northern Ireland, not another one that we know of. Yeah. I don't speak about those anymore. It's but what's everybody else doing the weekend? I'm going to have to go for a piss in a minute.
Just a quick question, Holly. Have you put the Discord link in as well as the YouTube one?
Yeah, you can put that in, Ollie. She has the power.
Because I've got to try and get this sprayed in the next 2 hours, ready to start the challenge.
I was just thinking of getting one of them old model JetX engines and putting in the bottom, but that would probably melt it because they run at a hell of a temperature, them things. Oh, pardon me.
But I want to get it sprayed so I can take this masking tape off.
Was that just holding the sections together?
No, it's not holding sections together. It's just if you leave it on too long, it can become too stuck to the paint and take the paint off.
I'm just going to have a look, Holly. I can't.
Holly, if you go onto my Facebook page, it's in the post on there.
So I was just having a look, see if I could quickly find it there. She's better than me at the tech stuff, so she'd find it.
Or if you go into the Discord server, it's called the Green. It's under the 48-hour section. It's called the Green Room.
Right, being as it's International Ladies' Day, just while I go and sort myself out upstairs, I've only got a 2-can bladder and I've had 3 cans. So I will let the lovely Mrs. W come over and say a few words for a couple of minutes.
Oh, good. I get to gaze lovingly at Mikey.
Yes, of course you do. You can virtually stroke his beard.
Well, set off. Oh, good afternoon, my dear.
Good afternoon. It's nice to speak to the boss for a change. It's nice to speak to the organ grinder rather than the monkey.
Oh, I haven't been doing very much organ grinding. So, sorry, I was not looking at the pictures. What model are you making in your 48 hours? That
I can show it you now. I'll go and get it. 2 seconds.
okay? No, I didn't know whether you'd shown it or not. I was sort of half listening, and the
Challenger.
a Challenger tank.
I'm
Do
going
you
to
have
make
to
it.
get all? Sorry, carry on.
I'm going to make it like one I saw when I was in Iraq. So it'd been struck by an IED, and the side plates there have been blown out. So I'm going to do with smoke and an LED lights in the smoke up, so it looks like it's been hit.
I heard something about smoke, but I thought that was the rocket. Yeah, was you're going to do that with the?
Yeah, this is just one I'm doing for fun. Rocket. This is just one I was doing because I had nothing to do this week.
Sorry, it's a missile, isn't it? It's not a rocket.
Yeah, well, it was a rocket. It's kind of.
I don't know. I'm just a woman. I don't know the right terms.
You can't be saying that.
No, I've never served. I don't know too much about these things because it's never. He's just gone to pinch a cigarette out of my box, and the box is empty.
I know there'll be some more somewhere because you won't run out.
You gotta, yeah. So that's it. It's made me, yeah. I'll use the wrong terminology, but so I apologise.
Yeah, that's the base I've made for it.
I'll put a cake on that.
Made it out of balsa wood.
Oh, cool.
So you got the bottom of the rocket is going to sit on there.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be grass all around these corners with
So
spotlights.
it actually looks like a launch pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fixed ones were actually on like a gravel area with little concrete huts around, but they did have the ones that were on mobile units.
Yeah.
The fixed ones were, I believe, northern France, Barramundi, something like that.
I don't know.
Same area where they launched the V1s from.
I tell you what, Rog, you'd like one of the auction pieces we've got for this weekend.
What's that?
It's a pair of Cromwell model Cromwell tanks that have been built.
Oh.
And they've been built by none other than Al Murray and signed.
Oh.
Because he is one of the patrons of Models for Heroes.
Oh, sweet. So you've got celebrities on board as well, then?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to read through the chat.
Well, no, go over there and look at it.
Told you she's in charge now.
Oh, we're going to do reverse positions, are we?
What you need to do now, Heather, is change the name.
Well, I can't see nothing. All you've got is the chat.
Well, if you click onto the YouTube page,
How can I see all
Oh, I better give him his chair back. Otherwise, all he'll do is sit over there and moan.
Or we'll see him disappear in a cloud of smoke.
or sulk?
Well,
The laptop's
he's got-
exploding.
he's got the 2 monitors and I've got the laptop. So I've got YouTube on like half. So the picture's about yay big on my screen. And then the chat on the other half.
Well, at the minute, I've got the Discord on my monitor. And then on top of the Discord, I've got StreamYard on one side, YouTube on the other.
Well, StreamYard takes up the whole of that monitor. So
That's only so
You're- you're on almost as big on this screen as you are as the whole YouTube screen is on mine.
5:15.
Anyway, I'll catch you later.
Right,
There
so
you go, baby.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, it's nice. Fucking hell, cat, hurry up. That's cold. Got the window open for the wazzer.
Roger,
No,
I've got to go.
mine, I've quite often, the way I normally run it is I have Discord, YouTube, StreamYard, and then either Facebook or an open Google page so I can, share pictures or my files. But, next week, I might be down for a couple of days. Heather's going to swap out a hard drive in the computer for me. I've got one that's got a bit of a glitch. When you're downloading stuff or copying stuff, it'll get to that point, and then all of a sudden it corrupts it all.
Yeah.
And the computer goes into one because it doesn't know what it's doing, and neither do I. So it's like, just walk away from the bloody thing.
Right, Roger, I'm going to have to get back to Discord. and
Yeah,
help
no
with
worries,
that.
mate.
Thank you for letting me come up.
Hey, no worries, mate. No worries.
I'll speak
You're
to you
more than
soon. I'll
welcome
jump
up
back.
here.
I will be in the chat. It's just I've got to go back over there to run that.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. Not a problem. Say hi to the guys for us, and if
I
I
will.
can drop in over the weekend, I will certainly.
No problems. Right. Cheers, everyone.
Bye, Mikey.
Yeah, no worries, Lee. Oh, she come back in, has she?
Well, somebody's eating cat biscuits over
Well, it
there.
ain't me, is it? Yeah, the funniest thing is smoking one of Heather's fags. As you know, I got a habit when I was smoking the rollies, when I was smoking full time, I'd roll one, light it, put it in the ashtray, it would go out, I'd go back to it in a while, have another couple of drags, put it back. But I forgot. I had one of these the other day, lit it, took a couple of drags, put it in the ashtray, and of course, they don't go out, do they? So, yeah, 2 drags and the whole ciggy was gone. And I will have to find my own lighter because you will want yours back, won't you? But yeah, the non-smoking is going quite well. As I say, everybody
You're not
knows.
smoking your backy anyway.
Eh?
You're not smoking your backy.
Yeah, I'd cut down very, very drastically towards the end. I did have a couple of extra ones because it was just to use the tobacco up, and I haven't had any since Wednesday. So I think the odd 1 or 2 of these just when I feel like one.
I've been back at school. He keeps calling for 2s.
And the devil's lettuce, I got to admit, the other day I did get given a tiny little bit, which was very nice. But yeah, I've cut that right out more than anything else. That was the first thing that had to go. But I am still waiting on the results from my last round of tests at the hospital. Sean won't be long and I will be in. Yeah, I shall probably have an early night tonight, Sean. I don't know what's on the telly. We got the the qualifying for the Grand Prix. Whether I shall watch that or not, I don't know. It's only the replay. But I've kind of dropped off of the Grand Prix a bit. It's going so woke where, believe it or not, even Max Verstappen is considering a retirement because the calendar is just too long. It's too exhausting, too expensive. And this has only happened since the Americans took over running the show. I didn't particularly like Eccleston, but with this new crowd, Liberty Media or whatever they are, they're just ruining it. It is. They used to call it the Formula One circus. And to me, that's what it is now, a fucking circus full of woke heads. I felt so sleepy. I've never tried the oil, Sean. I've always smoked. Obviously, the last few years I've cut down. I did cut down on the actual bud because I wasn't smoking it for enjoyment. I was smoking it for medical reasons.
Did you find the oil help though?
Well, she said it made her feel sleepy. Falling asleep is not an issue, Sean. It's how long I sleep. Over the years, I used to do 2 or 3 jobs, 3-4 hours most sleep at night, and my body just got used to that. And once I started getting the restless leg syndrome and the cramps, obviously that put a stop to a lot of my sleep. Yes, I was in pain and it did help. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, I mean, I never really tried it myself, but when I do get to see the doctor again, it is something I'm going to mention. See if I can get any through them. I'm willing to give it a go rather than take man-made med, as it were. Big Pharma are fucking around again now. They're bringing out all sorts of shit. And also you got the English labs now that are starting to look into things. And believe it or not, there was reportedly, I haven't seen confirmation, so take this with a pinch of salt, that there has already been a case of this new turbo cancer, as it's called. Whether it is a cancer or not, I don't know. But being as the ONS and everybody else is fucking up the numbers, we can't even check fully now how many excess deaths they are every month. They're hiding them. Nobody seems to want to talk about them, least of all governments or mainstream media. Hi, Box. Good afternoon. Well, good evening now. How are you? Yeah, it's just one big cover-up after another at the minute. I mean, they tried to keep it all quiet, but obviously that all came out in the COVID inquiry, which was great. They did that in public or went through it all in public, which absolutely, yes, they should do. And now we're seeing how badly the oh God, that's bright. How badly the postmasters were treated during all their issues. And the government just seems to be palming it off here, there, and everywhere, blaming everybody else by themselves. Bit like that twat Hunt did with his budget. Everything was down to either COVID or it was down to the war in the Ukraine and Russia. And now, obviously, Palestine and Israel and what have you. But they will not accept any blame for anything themselves. Afternoon, buddy.
Good afternoon, all. The sexy one is here.
That's loud. I was just about to light up one of Mrs. W's.
Yeah, I've just got one there to do myself.
Jesus, look at the length of that. It looks like a fucking spliff. I can assure you it's not.
No, Roger, that is a big one you have there.
Isn't it? And it's a white one. I shouldn't say that, really, should I?
That yes, that's just no. Actually, that's not discriminatory at all.
No. But you can get black ones, can't you? And brown
Apparently
ones.
so.
Well, you can actually get rainbow ones if you get them weirdy perfumed ones.
I'll put the chat out so I can see what's going on in the chat. Let's change.
They're all saying good afternoon to you.
Hello to you all. Drone Aphobic, Stuart, Sean. Who else?
Oh,
that's-
there's loads of them in there. Rob, I think Rob W was sneaking off somewhere. Lee, Stitch, Beardy's in the chat. He's just been up on the panel. Obviously,
Was he?
he's getting ready for their big show.
Hello, Rob. How you doing, mate? I've just done my last video. That's just gone up, scheduled for 7:30. So
How many have you done today?
only four. Only 4.
Only 4. I felt guilty doing 2 yesterday. I put one on the other channel.
I feel guilty doing 4. I should be able to do 8. I was doing 8 at one point, wasn't I? 8 or 9 a day.
Well, it's not as if there ain't enough bloody material out there, is it?
So I can only do what I can do these days, and I'm glad to be able to put something out at all. So yeah.
I've had quite a few comments on my channel saying you're going well, and it's great to see the content coming back.
Yeah,
Chasing
I'm happy to be
happy
back.
Ramadan.
I'm happy to be back. It gives me something to do, gives me something to think about. Otherwise, I'd be sitting on the sofa, and like I have been for a long time, I sit on the sofa, and then when I feel tired, I've got nothing to keep my mind busy. So I will.
That's what I told you. While you're doing it, you're keeping yourself occupied, and it will keep you awake a bit more. And then when you do sleep, you should get better sleep.
I wish that was the case. Stuart, I've put I think there's 2 out at the moment, another one going up in a few minutes, and then one at 5:30. Oh no, sorry. 1 at 6:30, 1 at 5:30, 1 at 6:30, 1 at 7:30. I think.
There you go. See, I remember to put that one out when I put it in the ashtray.
I can't even remember now. Yeah, no, I thought I'd jump on. I finished my last video and I thought Roger's still on. It's I kind of almost missed you last time, I think. So I'll go and check, and I saw there was nobody on the panel, so I thought I'd best come on and oh god, so
well, Beardy popped up for a bit to advertise his 48-hour thing that they're doing this weekend, the 48-hour builds.
Oh right, okay.
I've been watching that news this morning where they've actually released the name of that copper that shot Chris Cabot.
I've got one coming out.
You've covered that, have you?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be coming out in a little while, yeah.
But did you cover the one with the 11-year-old Joe in the fucking caravan?
No.
The police caught an 11-year-old. I believe it was on the motorway with a bloody great SUV towing a 14-foot caravan.
How?
An 11-year-old.
How?
Well, providing they didn't kick the shit out of the kid or shoot him, then I've got nothing to report on because he shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Yeah, it's
admin for me.
Can I fucking do your admin? You saying the piss, love?
Hi, Paranormal X, no problem, sweetheart. Thanks for dropping in. I know you do share my videos and streams out there. That is appreciated. And if anybody wants to go and look at her videos, there is a link to her videos at her channel in the description under all my videos.
Yesterday, Roger, I finally filled in the form to get a court order against the Metropolitan Police to give me my shit back. So I got the form, I filled it in. I've had to. My printer's like 9 years old. Like it's fucking. It's like you have to wind the fucker up at the side. It's like steam generated, like steam generated or something. No, it's fucking old, and I've not used it for ages. And I went to print yesterday, and all the nozzles are blocked. So I've had to order from Amazon some feeding syringes and I'll cut the end tiny bit off the end, fit it over the nozzle, and I've got to squirt some warm water through, obviously while it's unplugged, to unblock the syringes, and then hopefully that'll be dry by tomorrow. Then I can print that out, and then I've got to get that sorted out. But
I was going
I've
to say
asked-
you'd be bloody lucky if that worked now after
Made by Fred
not
Dibner.
using it for so long.
I know. I should get a new one, to be honest. I just haven't got the spare cash for it at the minute. So, so
I
just
think the last one.
make
Well,
do with it.
we didn't buy the last one. It was given to her when she left the other job. So
Yeah, but it's 80 quid a cartridge.
yeah, it's an industrial one, but it's only black and white as well, which is a pain in the ass.
I do want to get that. They do have like I think it's no, this one's Epson, and this one comes. You have four cartridges: black, cyan, blue, and yellow. So you only need to change the cartridge, and you can get the knockoff cartridges that work well in this one, to be honest. But there are other ones out there where you buy. There are other ones out there where you can fill you get like ink, and you just fill them up yourself. It's a lot easier than these because these have got chips on, and you've got to reprogram the bloody chips for them to work. It's a fucking nightmare.
No, it's all
So,
good.
so I need to get a new one anyway. If I can get this work cost of a £5, then fuck it.
We did have a coloured one, but it went do dally and it's thrown out the back still. I'll put it out for the tatters and they don't even want it.
Yeah.
But I
I'll
don't
get this sorted anyway. It's like nearly 300 quid for the court order. So
think-
and
that's expensive.
to be fair, well, that covers everything. That covers the judge's time, the paperwork, any letters that need to be sent, all of that stuff. It covers all of that. To be fair, the phone is probably only worth about 500 quid now anyway. But I've got the memory cards as well, and it's the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
you've got to travel back down to London to pick them up as well. So there's travelling expenses involved.
and there is that, but I can go down see the family for a while and pick them up on the way through. So that I can.
Yeah,
That's an excuse to go down, but yeah, it had to be done. It's, as I say, it's a principle of the matter. They've had it now for over 2 years. I emailed them in March 2023,
Has
and
it really been 2 years?
yeah,
Yeah.
and February this year, and they've ignored my emails. So
Yeah, because David's been arrested several
Wow.
times since, hasn't he?
No, it just doesn't seem like 2 years. It just seems like, I don't know, like 8 months ago.
I bet you they'll come back and say they can't find it. They've had
Probably.
it that long. They won't be
well,
able to find it.
it's a good thing I've got the property receipt that says that they've still got it.
Good. And the
Because
other
if
thing
it's
is,
around
make
and say they
sure
can't
that
find
they've got it when you're going down to get it. You want them to find it and have it there ready. Otherwise, it'll be another wasted trip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what
and I
they
say
for.
it's also the memory cards as well. Now, memory cards that they've got, you've seen most of that footage on that video that I done anyway. But
Yeah.
I've got the body cam footage, which is after they turned my camera off. It's only about 10 minutes worth, I think, of footage, but it's
If they
still,
haven't corrupted it.
well, yeah.
Which probably have. Let's face it.
But we'll see. We'll see. Then I'm going to do a subject access request because they've told me they won't do a subject access request because I'm still under investigation, allegedly.
There's nothing to fucking investigate, for crying out loud.
Well, apparently, they think that I arranged the criminal damage with David Chick.
Balmy. They are absolutely balmy.
So, yeah.
I mean, you were targeted anyway. You could see from the minute you started filming there that they were watching you, pointing at you.
Well, it was towards the end. They all grouped up on the steps, and I got pushed back with everybody else, and they all grouped up on the steps. And I literally just saw out the corner of my eye, I saw one look over their shoulder like that. Now, most people wouldn't even think anything about that, but I noticed the looking, and I'm sure I said on footage, oh, they're going to come for me now. And then
I think
about
you
You
did
were
actually.
doing a lot of shouting as well.
so yeah,
But yeah, it's. I mean, this is a sort of thing the Met have got to sort themselves out on. You know, we've seen what they've been doing. They're supposed to have been changing. They're supposed to be rooting out the bad uns. But all we get is the odd one or two that are thrown under the bus. Obviously, the main players that were in the main news and the media, Cousins and what have you. Yeah, they're going to keep bringing that up. And they keep using that one as an excuse. Well, that's done and dusted. We know he was a bad one. He's gone down. He's in there for fucking life. He ain't getting out. Move on. Get some
they'll
more of the
use
other
that. They'll use that to disguise all of the other stuff
Yeah.
that's going. So
And
we'll keep doing that up, and people will think, well, it, anything else that comes out other than, after that is like, oh, well, it's not as bad as Cousins and Carrick.
Exactly. They're playing all the others down, which they shouldn't do. It, like we've said, if they've got any offence or they've been investigated for an offence, then they should all be looked into, which is going to be about 80%, 90% of the Met by the looks of things.
Yeah, more than likely.
I mean, this new computer system that they're on about putting together, is that designed to pick them up? I very much doubt it.
Of course it's not.
They've said they've changed the vetting things. Sunak said that in his questions on Wednesday. Well, rushing them through like they have been, taking on all the woke ones, that's not vetting them properly, because half of them arseholes shouldn't even be in there. Persecuting preachers on the street. Most of them don't know the law anyway. And to me,
they
you
don't.
should know the basic law. And most of them know less than we do.
Yep.
They're actually taking away because if you remember, they did for a while the route into policing through a degree.
Yes.
And they're taking that away as well now. So, I mean, to be honest, I've got to be honest, right? I would rather have people in the police force that have got some life experience and not just university degree.
Yeah,
There
that's what I
should,
said.
there should definitely be a minimum age, though, to join.
There should be a minimum of everything. I mean, look at my video yesterday. The doing the training. What's it called? Fitness test is now discriminatory towards women because women aren't fucking good enough to complete. Well, quite a few women apparently aren't good enough to complete the fitness test. We'll get another fucking job then.
Well, you look at half the male ones that are on the force.
You wouldn't hire
donuts. Most of them look like one.
you wouldn't hire fire. You wouldn't hire fire service personnel. Let's put it that way. If they can't lift another person out of a fucking burning building.
That is part of the requirement, is that dummy.
Exactly. So, or carry the equipment. You wouldn't, you can't hire them because they're a fucking danger to themselves and everybody else. And it's exactly the same with the police.
Well, it used to be very, very similar on the marshal's course if you were going for one of the fire teams or an extraction team. Now, whether they still do it, but the first thing they used to do, before they even taught you anything, they used to suit you up in one of them silver titanium suits. They'd cover the inside of a car body with fuel, put the dummy in there, set the thing alight, and you had to walk up, reach in through the flames and drag the dummy out just to prove that you had the bottle to do it. If you didn't pass that test, you didn't progress any further. You were put down to being a volunteer flag marshal.
Quite right.
Quite right. And they've got to start hiring people, as you say, that can do the bloody job and do it as it's needed, not the way they think it should be done.
I've said many times that if that means that the police force is all women, or the police force is all black, or the police force is all Chinese, it doesn't make a fucking blind bit of difference, providing they can do the bastard job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And most of these little wet wipes that are joining now, I mean, fucking hell, they wouldn't last 5 minutes on the street if somebody turned on them.
No, they
wouldn't. Coming straight out of education into a job where you need fucking life experience.
and not even a good education. You know, they're
Well,
just
no.
brainwashed nowadays. You know, oh, you've got an education, you're going to be able to rule the roost. No, you fucking
Yeah.
ain't.
No.
Personally, I'd like to
Almost-
see it get back to the stage where a lot of the ones that have stepped back and left, but are still viable officers that were good ones, they need to get those back in. You know,
Well,
ones that knew the law, that worked within the law.
I
Not
mean,
these
yeah,
people
how are we going to know? How is anybody going to know? You know, who is now fit to be a police that used to be police? It's going to be impossible to find them. I think. You know,
where they
I
went
get-
wrong was starting to bring in quotas. You've got to make this amount of arrests. You've got to have that investigate. That is just wrong. Putting a quota on a job like that. It's like telling a fireman you've got to attend so many fires a year.
And that
Yeah.
right there is how you know.
You
that
know
it's
what I mean?
that right there is how you know that it's a business. It's a corporation now,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
have quotas to fill. It's
Like
disgusting.
that evicting that cancer patient, the woman the other day.
Oh,
That was
I'm sorry.
absolutely fucking disgusting.
yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't care who you are. That sort of shit. It doesn't matter if it's my job shit. You've
Yeah.
got a moral obligation as a human being.
Shana, I wouldn't trust my daughter to make beans on toast, let alone become a cop.
I mean, I've done a video today, right, about a copper, right? Osama Hussein, his name is. Now he has been fired because he had some cryptocurrency investments, right?
What?
He's been fired because he had cryptocurrency investments. Now during the vetting process, they are supposed to divulge any investments that they've got with the police,
Yeah.
right? So that the police know that they're not skint, they don't owe somebody thousands of pounds, and they're not open to corruption that way, right?
Yeah, they're not in anybody's
person-
pocket.
Yeah. So this person didn't divulge that he had some cryptocurrency investments, right? So okay, he lied. Granted, he lied, and I've said this in the video. He lied, and he effectively continued that lie to cover up the fact that he had some cryptocurrency investments. He said that he was an inexperienced trader. He only traded £150 a time. But what happened is his bank got blocked. I think what he was trying to do was send money to a cryptocurrency exchange, and they blocked his bank, because I've had it years ago. He then asked the police force to pay his wages into a different account. The police then started to look into it, and apparently it turns out that this guy had transferred thousands of pounds from his account to somebody else's in order for cryptocurrency trading. I don't see that. If you're not spending money you don't have, then I don't see that as a major problem.
No, that's a personal investment.
It's an investment, yeah. But they've sacked him. Now, I've said in the video, look, granted, the guy should definitely be sanctioned for lying and trying to cover it up. Absolutely, you know. But cryptocurrency investment is not like borrowing money off of somebody. You cannot buy cryptocurrency without the funds there and there to buy them, right? And the only way really you can fuck up on cryptocurrency is if you mortgage your house, put everything you've got on one trade, and the market tanks.
Yeah.
But nobody's really that.
Except for that poor sod that's got millions in his and he can't remember the password to get into it.
Or what about the one that threw it away? His bird threw it away. It's in the tip in Wales now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
but what I don't get, right, is he got fired for that, yet there's ones that have committed serious fucking crimes and they're still fucking coppers. Like, seriously? What the fuck?
I know. There's no consistency, is there? It's ridiculous.
I mean, okay, I agree that, yeah, you could be being paid by the wrong uns, or they could be paying you could be paying them, you could be being paid to pass on information. But if you're doing that and you can absolutely prove that is your personal investment,
Oh my God.
it's a portfolio you've been building up for years, then that shouldn't come into it. Yes,
Yeah,
all of a sudden, if there's a big, like, several £100,000 gone in, that could be questionable,
Yeah.
you know. But building up your own portfolio bit by bit, that shouldn't even come into the job. It shouldn't come into any job, your personal finances like that.
You see, I will stick up for the police sometimes when I think they've been hard done by.
Absolutely,
Can you do
mate.
me a
I mean,
favour? Sorry.
if a copper does the right thing
Can you just open
by
up the
somebody, a
phone?
member of the public, or is working with full morals and integrity and does the right job, I will always big up them for that.
Yeah.
Like most of the local ones around here. As I said during lockdown, when I used to do the videos then, I'd walk around the town for hours on the time. They knew damn well they couldn't stop me because I proved to them that they couldn't. You weren't just allowed out for an hour. I could sit down and have a rest. I could sit down and have a drink. There's the bloody legislation that says I can do it. And they left me. They were pretty good. They were quite talkative. They didn't fish. I mean, I think I only got asked for ID once, and that was because I got chatty with him, and I just gave him my first name. That was it. They never pressed me for anything. They never fished.
Just call me
Around the local park, they used to ride their mountain bikes that they've got now.
Chasing the
they'd always
kids.
put their hand up, morning, Roger, you know. And I'll be there
Riding
with
down
the
the park,
GoPro.
chasing the kids, yeah.
I used to love it because people used to look at, oh, what's he doing walking about all the time? You know, you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, go fuck yourself. And I don't wear a mask either.
Hang on. Sean just said she caught her daughter sticking a knife in the toaster and then tried to boil milk in the kettle.
That sounds about right for today's youth.
Don't worry, I'm not. I'm not.
Mind you, I can't speak about that, can I, after this morning? I tried to put too many crumpets in the toaster and it threw the trip. I tried to jam 2 in the same slot. Bloody computer went off. Oh, the telly went off. They said, we've got no electric. I said, hang on, the lights are still on. I know what that is. Oh, dear.
Yeah, but at the same time, we had the neighbour at the front door, so it was all a bit.
Yeah. What the hell's going on? I even asked the neighbour's son. He come out onto their drive. I said, "Is your electric gone?" He went back in and checked. He said, "No, it's all still on." I thought, oh, that's me then.
What?
Yeah, just trying to put an extra crumpet in the bloody toaster side by side. I think I must have pressed it down too far and it touched something.
They should make toasters a little bit bigger to incorporate 2 in each slot.
Yeah, I'd prefer it on an open fire, mate. Make proper toast. Black
Oh,
bits in it.
Every day I'm getting closer to putting my fork in the fucking toaster.
Buddy Ollie on
Or-
toast. Yeah.
Or every day I'm getting closer. Please don't put your penis in your toaster.
Did you
Why
see
not?
that meme on Facebook with the hair straighteners? The bloke's asking the woman what is she doing with the curling, the heated straightening tongs, and she said, "Well, it makes it look longer." And the next picture was him and his doctor saying, "Well, why did you burn your penis?"
Oh God. Oh, brilliant.
I'm like, yeah.
Those things are lethal. Don't ever try to straighten your pubes with them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they don't do well at sealing plastic bags either. It just ends up all congealed in them.
No, but you know what they are? They are really good for if you've got a shirt and your collar just needs an iron, get the
Oh, yeah.
straighteners on it.
Yeah.
It's good for that.
It doesn't work either dragging a slice of bacon through them slowly.
No, it does not.
An iron,
Straighteners
yeah,
and
you can do
bacon.
that.
It might work if you put it on and just hold them closed for, I don't know, half an hour. It might cook the bacon.
Oh, it won't take half hour. The bloody temperature them things get to.
You know, they get up to like 250 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, we used to fry stuff and cook stuff on the top of an upturned iron years ago, but
And that's no good for doing eggs on because it gets in the fucking holes where the steam comes out.
so,
Can't get it off.
what you do is you put a bit of tin foil or a pan on the top.
Nobody told me that.
Ask a student; they know how to do it.
They also know how to boil eggs in a kettle.
Yeah, boil eggs in a kettle, cook sausages with electric. with the 2 wires in there.
Oh,
You got to
good
be
God.
careful. They do explode doing that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You
That's,
can make
that's
boiled
just
eggs in
fucking
an air
weird.
fryer. You can make hard
You
boiled egg
can.
fryer without water.
Yep, you can. It's. I haven't quite mastered it.
What have I done there? Oh, there we go. So I pressed the wrong button again. Yeah, Dan, you weren't on when I said it. On this coming week, I'm going to take the computer offline for a day because Heather's going to change that hard drive for me. But I'm going to do a live Wednesday night rather than Friday. Probably from 7 till 10. Keep it to the 3 hours because it's actually my birthday on Wednesday.
It is your birthday, yes, that's very true.
So I'm going to do a live stream Wednesday night.
Well done for remembering.
Hey,
Well done for remembering.
yeah. Go, Holly, go, Holly. But the same with Heather's. I always used to get her date wrong. I knew it was in April. And she said, look, the easiest way to remember it is it's St. George's Day. I said, well, that's great if I can remember when St. George's Day is.
Exactly.
Yeah, but at least it shows up on a calendar.
Yeah, well, it's easy now. I just look on Facebook each morning. Whose birthday is it today? Crazy.
See, I haven't got.
Happy birthday.
I haven't got St. George's Day on my calendar.
You haven't?
Nope.
Oh, you'll know when it is because it will be all over Facebook.
She got Ramadan on her calendar.
Well,
What?
that's what Heather just said. She said, don't forget your birthday.
Yeah, I didn't.
Ramadan. I thought, oh, great. At least I'll get free fireworks.
There's St. Patrick's Day on there.
Yeah, well, that's next week because that's always 4 days after mine, see? 17th.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Mine's got International Women's Day on there, so I can remember to thank all the prostitutes.
Oh, you dick.
Yeah, I see that post. Have you heard the latest one from that? I talked about it earlier. The granddaughter or great-granddaughter of one of the suffragettes. She believes that Parliament should be 50-50, male and female. I'm like, well, okay, we've had a good, well, what I'd class as a good Prime Minister that was female. The last one was an absolute abysmal failure. But diversity and gender doesn't come into when you run in a country. The best person for the job is the one that can do the job. Doesn't matter colour, race, sex, or anything.
Whether it's any job, it's the same as we were talking about a minute ago with the police. If you can do the job, then you get a chance to fucking do it. If you can't do the job, then go fucking do something you can do. Quite simple. You cannot take a job. You cannot be given a job just because you're black or because you got a fanny.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, well, I mean, you can. I mean, obviously, if you're a,
well, yeah, if you,
there are some jobs, aren't there?
Mind you, even that's open to debate, isn't it, nowadays?
No, it is these days. Yeah. Imagine paying your money over, getting them home, and realising you got to give them a reach around.
Yeah, especially if you're in
that.
Thailand. In Thailand, it is hard to tell, really, isn't it? Some of them, and a few have fallen foul do it over the years.
I'm gonna drop down because I'm gonna have both fucking air fryers going in a minute.
All right, sweet up.
Because
No worries.
doing tea. So I will be in the comments.
Bye,
No
bye.
worries.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
First time I heard someone mention air fryer, I thought it was a new model of guitar. But no, I was saying there, if you're watching Crazy, happy birthday for in the week, and likewise Nathan Leoness. Happy birthday to you guys.
It's his birthday today, isn't it, Nathan's?
Well, Nathan's, no, was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. It was the same day as me mate Crazy's.
Oh, yes, no, I did, yeah. I did.
Crazy's was yesterday.
Yeah, so it was yesterday because it's the same day as Crazy.
Yeah, I did see that on the Book of the Face.
Yeah. Who else was it? There was somebody else. I don't think it's any of you guys know. It's one of my old schoolmates is popped up. It was me mate Cookie, Phil.
So Brian said his dad said he used to brush the floor with the palm of his hand. I know a few people that could probably brush the floor with the palm of their hand, but that's only because they've got a fucking hairy palm. Don't spit that out, Roger.
There is on the back, not on the front. On cooking eggs. Oh my lord. Boiled eggs in the kettle. Yeah,
Thanks,
they
Rob.
used to, Sean.
Yeah.
They used to boil eggs in the prison in the kettle, amongst other things. You'll be surprised what they used to make in kettles. And with the electric from them. But we won't go into that. It's stuff I shouldn't know.
Prison napalm.
Yeah, with the sugar. That was nasty stuff as well. And it used to do a lot of fucking damage.
I actually had on, I think it was this hand on this knuckle. In fact, I've still got a very light scar when I was 17 or 18. It wasn't napalm, but I was working in a hotel at the time, and you got the big salamander grills. So we had some stuff cooking on the grill, and we used to put things under the grill plate, under the grill plate to keep them warm. So I went to get something out from underneath the grill plate, and this bit of fat dripped on my finger and melted a big fucking hole in the top of my finger.
You'll be able to see it on the camera there, the burns across here.
Yeah.
That was all burning fuel. Yeah, I had cotton gloves on, but it melted the stitching in the gloves, and the gloves fell apart, and I ended up with a burning fuel on my hand. Michael, good afternoon, mate.
They weren't stitched with nylon or something, were they?
Hey?
They weren't stitched with nylon or something, were they?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And I will admit they weren't Proban or fireproof material either. They were cotton and wool. Wool is fireproof to a certain extent on its own anyway.
You'll find most cotton that's used for stitching is polyester mix.
And the stitching just melted. I was quite shocked, and after that I never wore those again. I used to get Nomex ones, but the trouble with the racing gloves, because you need to be able to feel the steering wheel, gears, buttons, knobs and stuff. I shouldn't have said knobs, that's going to open me up to the right thing, isn't it? They're usually thinner than your regular fire suits. They're only single layer as usually, but I haven't had a pair for years. Obviously, I don't race anymore. I haven't done for many years. But even Formula One suits, fire suit, they're disposable now. That one race, that's it.
Yeah.
They throw them away.
Just had a notification. David Cameron. People in Gaza are in desperate humanitarian need. Alongside the US, the UK, and partners have announced we will open a maritime corridor to deliver aid directly to Gaza. Great. That means we don't have to bring them here to give them aid.
It also means that they've got to come through the Red Sea, and that's going to be fun, isn't it?
But they're talking about putting a port in so that they can take the boats into Gaza, but they can't actually get in anywhere along the Gaza coast. So it's got to go in to Israel, north of Gaza, and then come down by road.
And the thing is, they got to build the bloody thing first. I mean, obviously, it's not. They keep calling it, like the Mulberries, where they're not going to build bloody great big concrete blocks to take over there, hollow concrete blocks. Yeah. So it's obviously going to be a metal one. But with the coastline around there, from what I can see, it's going to have to come so far off the beaches to be able to get any boat near it.
It's like Hawaii Firth. It's a long sloping beach.
You've only got to look at the fiasco of trying to get the aid in trucks. Now, that those trucks are coming in different areas, and you've got gangs and gangs of people coming round them. Now, if you've got one port of entry, they're going to know where it's coming up, and they're going to besiege that. The stuff won't even get past the beach.
If they do, that just goes to show that we all know this anyway. Or anybody with an ounce of fucking brain cell knows this anyway. That it will just go to prove that Hamas aren't interested in supporting the people that live in Palestine if they want to go and rob the trucks. So
there was a perfect meme on Facebook that depicted it this morning. You got the two Hamas there with their AK-47s. Sat there, how are we going to end this war? And right next to him is a bolted door with a padlock on and a load of hostages behind it.
And the keys hanging on hook.
And the keys hanging on hook. And they're saying, how are we going to stop this war?
Yeah.
That said it all. Says it all. Everybody is focused on what Israel is doing. They haven't looked at what Hamas has done to start it.
It's a shame they don't take a leaf out of the Japanese book. When the Japanese commanders used to, when the end of the war, the Japanese commanders, they'd have a special dagger which they'd run across their stomach and open themselves up.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't take a leaf out of the book.
The katana blade. It was called falling on it. What they used to do was fall on it and push it right through. Hit a lot of the organs. But they class that as an honourable death because you weren't killed by the enemy. John, hello, mate. I'm loving some of them posts you're putting up on Facebook. Absolutely cracking, buddy. I'll share the decent ones. What happened to Fart Club? Oh, Loafer. Yeah. Okay. Afternoon, Loafer.
And you think I bring the tone down?
But yeah, I mean, I don't even think we should be involved out there. It's nothing to do with us. Both sides have caused us grief in the past. So why are we even bothering? It sounds horrible. People are being killed from both sides, by both sides. But why? As far as I know, none of them are in the UN.
How on earth can sitting down in the Houses of Parliament deciding that they should stop killing each other have an effect on what's actually going on over there?
Yeah, it doesn't.
They're not going to listen.
It doesn't.
Of course they're not. Of course they're not.
Yeah, thank you, John. No, I do like looking at some of your posts, mate. Some of them are quite hilarious, but some of them are absolutely bang on point. And that's why I share them. There's people that look at my stuff that don't probably look at yours, and vice versa. It's and it's another way of getting the word out. Look, I'm only a small channel compared to a lot of them, but you look at what they're putting out to what I'm putting out. Same with you, Dan. There is one or two channels out there that does do police corruption and stuff like that. But they don't do the research the same as you do. They don't find the proof. They don't show the proof up there. It's just them talking about it. With me, it's just dissecting what news is out there and looking for the truth behind it, if there is any.
Well, this is why I always give an opinion on my reports.
Yeah, I'll report the news and then I'll give my opinion on it and also what else I've found out about it.
Which is the good thing about not being controlled by any media corporation.
It's bloody obvious, and it has been for years, that the media is government controlled. We know that. That's been proved. They've said it. Media has said it. But I have noticed there has been a bit of a turn in some of the media, the mainstream media. They are starting to ask the right questions. But
I'll tell you what confuses me. Sorry, Roger, go on, carry on. My fault.
Asking the right question is absolutely fine. But if you ask a certain question, you absolutely force the person to answer it, not sidestep it. If they deflect the question, you say, fuck you, piss off. We'll get someone in who's going to answer the questions. They pander to them. And I've seen it so many times with MPs. They get
Yeah.
asked a question. And they go into a bullshit statement, which is nothing to do with the question they've been asked.
It interests me with Sky News. Sky News over here is just as wank as all the other channels, right?
Australia is the better version.
Yes, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you've got the Australia one, and they're allowed to have an opinion over there.
Yes,
Which-
absolutely.
You know, makes me think, how the fuck? How are they allowed an opinion and we're not over here? Why are we forced to digest bullshit after bullshit in this country when other countries they're allowed to be more fucking liberal in what they say?
Now that
1 second, I've got the door. 1 second.
no worries, mate. Well, that what John has put there. Now you look at the difference. I don't know whether anybody else watches it, but if you watch Sky Australia, they are shouting everywhere that the government have passed the law where you can sue the government and sue anybody that's forced you to take. Pardon me, bloody hell. That have forced you to take it for whatever reason, because they've said now that was illegal. Yes, Australia were hard. They did clamp down on people. But now the tide is turning. Their media is saying it. Why can't ours? Because they're strangled by the government, obviously. We know this. What's that stupid woman's name on in the mornings? Kay Burley. I've watched her do a few interviews. And she will not, she'll say, oh, that's not the question I asked, but she won't make them answer it. She'll move on to another question, sidestepping it. And to me, that is not reporting. If you ask, same as Khan, he'll deflect every question. He's done it in the London Assembly. He's done it when he's been in front of the MPs. And he gets away with it. They just won't push him. And this is what's needed.
Sorry, Rog.
That's all right, mate. Someone's at the door. It's Emu. Rod's dead. Oh, for fuck's sake, loafer.
I don't have an emu. I have a piggy.
Oh, I've got, well, my furry animal's over there. Oh, she's gone asleep again now by the fire.
Yeah, you don't want to be sticking your hand, you don't want to be sticking your hand up that though, do you? Let's be
I'm
fair.
talking about the cat, not you. Oh, God, they're on about that woman and the baby's death again. See, the media are covering up all sorts of shit going on with these stories. Yes, they should be in the news, but they should be a small snippet, but they're making a big thing about it. You know? So done. So did Cameron. Yeah. Cameron, I believe, shouldn't even be in this government. He's not elected. He can't even bloody vote on the debates because he's the Lord and he hasn't got the standings in there to do it. So we've got a non-elected, non-voting foreign secretary. What fucking good is that?
Right, we've got a non-elected foreign prime minister as well.
Yeah. Well, and what's his name? Cleverly. Yeah. Well, we've had loads of them in there, and none of them have been any good. None of them have been any good. And this goes back to what's the point of diverse and inclusivity if it don't work?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, there's Mr. Chin and a thumb and a beard. Look.
But diversity can be achieved.
Go.
Diversity can be achieved if the people going for these jobs can fucking do them.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, there are one or two. I mean, I've known one or two what I call BAME that are bloody good at their jobs. Yeah. And
Right.
he's a waste of space, Cameron.
£3.50 second-hand bargain. When I finish reading it, I can burn it and keep warm.
Yes, Stuart. I mean, Can you think of anybody that's on that front bench that was actually elected to their position? I can't. They've been placed in them.
Right,
They've
'cause-
never been elected.
No, you think about Sunak. Rishi Sunak has got in unelected. He has then chosen who he wants to do jobs. They haven't been elected to do those jobs by the people. They've just been given the jobs. And what interests me about this, right, is that you'll notice that people get these jobs when they've got no fucking experience in any of that area in government. Do you know what I mean? It's like you'll have somebody who's I don't know, say minister for health, right? And then they'll get put on doing the fucking budget or fucking minister for policing or something. And you're like, hang on a minute, how the fuck have they got any idea what they're talking about?
I mean, that horrible cigar drinking, whiskey supping, what's her face, coffee. They got in as a bloody health secretary. I mean, you look at the state of her. She's probably the most unhealthy person you could fucking find to put in the job.
Doesn't mean she doesn't know
You know?
what she should be doing to be healthy.
But again, it's not them themselves, is it? It's the what are they called? The people behind the scenes, the civil servants. It's the civil servants that do all the fucking work.
Oh, the civil servants don't do any work. That Brexit put that crap up them because they have to start working again. The civil service is infected with wokeism.
It is, but they're the ones that do all the fucking stuff for the MPs. The MPs are do fuck all.
Absolutely, Stuart. If someone's going to run the country, they should be elected into the position. They shouldn't be handed it.
I wonder what I could have possibly got a former Wall Street hedge fund investor or banker parachuted into one of the safest tourist seats in the country, Richmond in Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, right posh up there, right posh. And within 9 years, he's unelected in an alleged coup, and they've got through about 3 prime ministers in nearly as many years, and he's there. It makes me sick. He's always got that fixed grin on his face. I'll tell you who's even worse. Jeremy Cunt. Oh, I said it wrong. Sorry, I normally don't use that word. Yeah, I do.
You could use it if you're a mainstream reporter.
Oh, dear,
BBC called him a cunt, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that woman, wasn't it? Yeah, the Chancellor Cunt.
Absolutely so shallow and conceited and obviously bloody narcissistic, egotistic, sociopathic idiots. The lot of them, both benches. Both benches.
Of course they are.
As I said, Sunak got in. Yes, he had some good ideas. What he said, if he had done it, fair enough. But he has not completed one thing he promised to do. And in a lot of cases, he's done the complete opposite. Now, how he can stand there and say, we're stopping the boats when they're not. They've never stopped any fucking boat. Yet he'll keep on about it. You know, the Rwanda thing is costing us millions. It's just going round in circles. The Lords will never allow it through because they deem Rwanda not a safe country. So it's pointless pushing it. They can
I like
it all they like.
I like the hoo-ha they made on Facebook the other day saying, oh, we've sent 37 people back. 37 people? And what percentage is that of the amount of people that have come over here?
Yeah. And the ones they're sending back are the ones they're catching working illegally in Chinese, Indian restaurants, Asian restaurants and stuff like that they know of. They're here. They've just gone over their visa. They've been working illegally. They've overstayed. They're the ones they're deporting, not these ones that are coming across the channel.
The 37 people get sent back. That's probably that. Well, that is a fraction of the amount of people that are coming in every day. Wow, well done.
Up to 300-400 a day again now, on a good day.
Well, the weather's getting better, isn't it?
Yep, and those numbers will go up.
Fucking hell.
It's
right. Listen, Roger, I'm going to have to disappear, mate, because I'm delivering, and I need to try and get this this printer sorted out, mate. So I will catch up with you all a bit later on.
All right, bud. I'll have a look through them videos in a bit as well when we finished off here.
No worries.
Catch up with them.
No worries. No worries. I'll see you later. See you later, Mrs. W, Loafer, and the guys in the chat. I will see you soon.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. But yeah, I mean, what Stuart said there about it, any prime minister should be elected. Yes. Okay, fair enough. If they want to appoint somebody in a certain position, they think they're going to do the job. As Sunak has proved, in fairness to him, that he's had people in that aren't capable of doing the job, and he's got shot of them. But that still doesn't take away from the fact he's unelected. He's not following the manifesto that they drew up. He's not done anything he's promised to do. And the party should see this, and they should be bringing him down and putting somebody else in to have a go. And I think if they've got even the slightest bit of chance in the next election, they've got to get rid of him. They won't win it or get anywhere near winning with him in the front.
The Tory party is so ruthless. Who would have done it by now? And if they've not done it, you're going to ask yourself, why have they not done it? Do they want to be completely and utterly destroyed because they know what's coming and they want to leave all the blame to Labour when they're getting?
Well, it's like I said earlier on. Now, Hunt stood up there Wednesday and give or take a few, ballpark figure, he promised 46 billion to different areas, different things, different projects. Now, where have they got 46 million? And why that figure?
They'll create out of thin air and put it back on the national debt.
Yeah, it's the banks.
It's like national debt.
That is how much the banks have said you
The
can borrow.
country's bankrupt.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole country's bankrupt.
Yep. And it is, as Truss said, it's the banks that control the country because they control the purse strings. And this is what people have got to get over. Most normal people don't realise that. We're not paying taxes for Sunak to spend anywhere. The only reason we're paying taxes is to pay the bank back what they've lent the government that's spent on our behalf. We're not paying the government, we're paying the banks. And this is why they want control, why they want a cashless society, because they can shut things down, they can take things off you without you even protesting.
They want a Chinese social credit system.
Yes.
That's what they want. It's a soft, I've said it before, it's a soft shuffle, totalitarian tiptoe, iron fist and a velvet glove. They come across as being compassionate and caring for all these minorities and this and the other. The legislation that they'll bring in will be not just to quash any dissent or any of people with alternative lifestyles or different religions that we might not agree with, any conflicts. You say, well, why are they going around blowing themselves up at pop concerts? Oh, because it's a religion of peace, a piece of you here and a piece of you there. Thank you very much, Bill Maher.
There you go. Just trying to
they'll bring any legislation in to actually tell you you're a bad person, to destroy your credibility, whichever way they can do, to cancel you. And we can see it. What I can't understand is why the left are so gung-ho about this. The traditional left are more conservative than the bloody Conservative Party and the Labour Party. We know it. They're just globalists. They're just neoliberal, neocon globalists, and they don't give a shit.
Given the powers to actually arrest you because they think you could commit a crime. So you're being arrested for a pre-crime.
It's called thought crime.
Yeah.
I read about that in a book.
Yeah, most of it is now thought crime anyway. They don't go after real criminals. I just don't know where this is going to lead to, because you got the Tories want this state thing, same as the Chinese, but Labour are for that as well.
Yeah.
ID cards, facial recognition.
Tony Blair, thank you very much, Tony, the Dark Lord.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about this. I mean, I can remember 10 years ago when they tried to bring in the national ID card. I said, well, most people of age have got one anyway. It's called a fucking driving license.
They'll make people so scared and clamorous to be protected that they'll concede to anything in order to feel the illusion of security. Now, obviously, when you've got bombs going off and you've got people waving flags, you've got two-tier policing, you've got completely inept state legislature, the highest court of the land, that's the Lords and the Commons. You've got judges handing down ridiculous sentences. You've got schools going completely woke. You've got police with rainbow flags one day, bashing protesters another day, and then taking a knee to a different group of protesters the next day. Everything has turned to shit. Every fucking public institution has been infected with this woke mind virus.
Look at the shit with the pro-Palestinians. Now they're arresting people for waving a union flag. Most of the police have got the fucking thing on their uniform.
Yeah.
You know, if that ain't a total fucking hypocritical
I've no
situation,
side in this. I've no side. I'm not taking any side. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Israel.
No, I'm not,
just
mate.
pissed
I'm not.
off. I'm just pissed off.
We shouldn't
we're
be
being
involved.
forced
It's
to
not
take
our
a side
problem.
and pay taxes to him so that they can go around killing each other. Just fucking let them get at it. There's nothing that'll be solved. There's been a shithole for fucking thousands of years. They've always been fighting over each other.
Yeah,
If you believe what it says in the Old Testament and the Bible, the Jews, in order to get to the Promised Land, had to cut their way through every other bloody tribe before they got settled there.
Yeah,
If you believe what's it's written in the Bible: battle, 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 kill, kill, kill.
Yeah, well, this is it. I don't do religion. I don't give a fuck about religion. And anybody that fights over religion, to me, is a waste of space. But Brian brought up there with the American police. Now, they've been installing fear in America for years. They've got bigger ways of doing it than us because they're all armed. And you've only got to look at the videos and the way they conduct themselves. They're absolutely disgusting. Yes,
They're
the
militarized.
Yeah.
You don't have a bobby with a whistle and a baton anymore, evening all.
Yeah, there's
I
same
went
as
to
here.
about 6 years ago, there were 4 cops there, and they all had a fucking sidearm.
Oh, they've all got sidearms. Even security over there, security guards have got sidearms.
What's changed that British people sitting because they get cheap McDonald's, you know, it's cheap security.
Oh, yeah.
They get free brews. They go in there because they get free brews. But it's security, isn't it? That's why Greg's the same. Greg's passed his out to NHS and everything. People like that
are too laid back. They'll accept what they're told and they don't argue back. We have got now 1 or 2 that will argue, will fight back. There are things that are being put in place to try and change laws around that. But it's government recommendations, and we know how the police like to ignore the government orders. Yeah. They're supposed to work autonomously, but they're supposed to work within the law. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. They are now more or less a paramilitary force. They dress the part. They try to make it intimidating. They dress intimidating. Even the stance of the hands in the jacket to make themselves look bigger.
Yeah.
I used to quite often tell them, you just make yourself look a prick, mate. You know what I mean? And you catch them out and prove them wrong, and their demeanor will change. Their hands will come down. They'll go in their pockets. You know, the first thing I say, talk to me, take your hand out of your pocket. That's what you tell me. Get your hands out of your pockets.
So your mother used to tell you, take your hands out of your pockets. Take your hands out of your pockets. What are you doing down there?
The last one that told me to get my hands out of my pocket, I just looked him straight in the face and said, "Boy, you frightened of getting fucking pregnant?" You know what I mean?
I were in a good mood until I jumped on here.
No, it's not been too bad today, mate. It's not been too bad. You know, we've had plenty to talk about with what's been going on. The one that I was particularly disgusted with this week was the guy who repeatedly raped the 12-year-old as part of a grooming gang, and a female judge gave him 180 hours walk out of court.
Yeah, community service, and that other female judge gave that Sam Melia 4 years, 2 for
2 years for post making stickers and putting stickers.
Yeah.
But you know,
I might not agree with his politics because he is pretty far out there, if you know what I mean. He's pretty radical, but it's the principle. It's the principle.
Yeah. I'd rather see some stickers up on a wall or a window somewhere, knowing, okay, why them stickers were put there. There was no kids being raped.
1983, I can remember a certain demographic taking to the streets saying, do nasty things to a certain person because he wrote a book. That was 1983. It was direct, open message to kill somebody. 1983 for the crime of writing a fucking book.
Now that there, Stuart, believe it or not, that has already happened. That was happening in 2020 and 21 because a lot of those extra police on the streets that were battering people and arresting people at the protests, they were never identified. They had no numbers identifying them, simply because a lot of them were private security employed by the police. And also some of them were, believe it or not, military. All military personnel, as Beardy would back me up on this if he's still in here, they are trained in crowd control and protest control. So believe me, not all of those were coppers. There's no way they had that amount. They'd have needed to bring them literally most forces from around the country. A lot of those were privately employed, probably sworn in, but that's all they were. Yes,
Brian's
Brian.
got it. Yeah, it was Salman
Yeah.
Rushdie book, Satanic
Yeah.
Perverses. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got to him last year, didn't they? Somebody rushed
Yep.
the stage and stabbed him in the face. He lost an eye.
Yep. You know, it's the radicals. It's these. They oh, I don't know what sort of title you could put on them, other than nut jobs. A lot of them. You know, something like that over a book. Well, if you don't agree with what goes in a book, you don't have to read it. You don't have to buy it.
Mm.
You know, yes, it was a bit of a warning in a way. But again, you look at the ones that are allowed to stand up in this country now and give absolute hate speech. And it is hate speech. Calling for people to die, calling for people to be murdered. To me, that is an absolute hate speech. But they don't get arrested. We say one bad thing to someone of the wrong shade or the wrong colour or the wrong religion, and we're the bad guys. Yet they can stand there slagging us off 24/7. You know, the police haven't got the bollocks to touch them. That's the problem. They'll pick on us because they know we're not going to stand there and throw fucking sticks, start knives, stones at the fucking cops. And they know if they go in and start attacking this lot like they used to us at protests, they won't get off so lightly. And that's what they're frightened of. They want to appease the bigger majority. Or I say the bigger majority on the streets. Yeah, we are still, luckily enough, the majority in this country, but nowhere near as much as we used to be. Yeah, I want to be Superman.
There's a bloke that I follow on social media, on YouTube and on Twitter, called Dominic Frisby. He's a comedian, plays the ukulele, banjo, and sings silly songs. Maybe just Joe Biden just needs one up the bum.
Yeah,
Then he could probably get the job done.
but again,
Very
it's the
funny, but
label.
he's an economist as well. He did the roast. He did roast of Count Dankula when they had that at the comedy club when they did that
They
roast.
don't want to be.
But
Well, that, Sean,
he said
that is part of the problem. The police don't want to appear to be racist.
Not Mike.
You know, everybody else can be a racist, but not the police. Now, the sooner they figure this out and realize no matter what way it goes, they're going to be on the losing side because they are a minority. They always have been. They know what can happen if they're outnumbered. They know the feelings and the tempers are rising in this country. And it ain't going to be long before they feel the real backlash from it. Not the war of words that's going on now, backwards and forwards, the real backlash. And if they carry on the way they're going, it will happen, believe me. From one side or the other, it will happen. Yes, Sean. And meanwhile, real crime goes unpunished or uninvestigated. You know, they put the figures out on the reported rape and assault, the sexual assault incidents. The number of them that have gone up, yes, okay, some of them are from people, oh, he brushed past me. I'm sorry, but like Dan said the other day, that is not a crime. Women and blokes will meet up. They will walk past each other. They will inadvertently touch somebody now and again. I mean, you stand on a crowded train, you're going to be right up against people. And they turn around and say, oh, you're not allowed to even look at a woman. That's a crime. You know, I mean, if a woman looks nice and looks what's the word?
Provocative.
Provocative. That's the word I was looking for. Blokes always look at them. You know, and I got to admit that I've known a lot of women that will dress for that attention. And then they'll complain when they get it. Or they'll go out dressed in basically nothing but their fucking underwear, get pissed in public, which a lot of them seem to do, the younger ones. And they're falling all over the place, you know, skirts up around their fucking waists. I mean, I've seen them walking past the pub in Liverpool when we were up there. And I thought, women never used to go out dressed like that.
No.
The only time you saw a woman dressed like that was just before she got into bed to take the rest off. You know, it's wokeness. That's all it is. And for these women that say, oh, we don't need a man, well, where are you going to go then when the last woman dies? You ain't going to have any more, are you? They don't think of that, see? Yes, Stuart, it's coming and it will be bloody messy, mate. You know, you look at the way we'll take foreign countries, the way that when the police go too far there, you get a rebellion. And those people will kick off. They will use guns. They will use knives against them. Here, all we do is report it. And I think it's not going to be long before it goes beyond reporting wrongdoing. I think there will end up in the not too distant future that people will start dishing out street justice, as I call it. And then they will sit up and take fucking notice. I'm had a man years. I don't need one. Yeah, but Sean, you've got your kids, haven't you? I think you said you got
Daughter.
a daughter. Yeah. See, now you've done your bit. Now, if your daughter turned around and said, "I'm having nothing to do with men," that's it. She's going to be single for the rest of her life. I mean, I've seen women, oh, I can't get a date. I can't get a date. And then they sit there saying, well, if I'm going to date a man, he's got to be earning 100,000 plus a year. He's got to own his own home. I've got to be able to give up work. I mean, fuck me. If a woman said that to me years ago, I'd go, on your fucking bike, I ain't interested. You know? I mean,
We need a few heterosexual couples just to keep the human race going.
yeah. I mean, you look at advertising now. It's a case of spot the white couple in the family. And then that is on every advert, bar one or two. But if they're the minority, why is there so many? You'd think that every other couple in the country is of mixed race, mixed marriage. And they're not.
I've said this before.
Yes,
Just
Sean,
do
it is.
do a Google image search. Just do a Google image search, straight white couples. You'll be surprised what you get. You'll be surprised what the results are. And
the other thing that's really, really pissing me off is why isn't Google being prosecuted for racism over that Gemini AI?
Yeah, that was funny.
Now, if one of us did that, or any platform did that, changing BAME people into white people, can you imagine the uproar if someone did an AI version of Martin Luther King and he was fucking white? Could you imagine the shit that would kick off over that? Yet they can do it and, oh, we're sorry, we're trying to sort the problem out. It's still there. They should at least take the thing offline until it's sorted, because people are going to keep using it It's going to keep pushing that narrative, and they fucking know it. That's why they've left it in there. That's why they haven't removed it. What else is? I can't reproduce anymore, but I like practicing. Oh, we all like practicing, Sean.
That was the Lost Souls.
Lost Souls, sorry. But there again, Heather's got a daughter and a son. Daughter and a son. I've got a daughter and a son. So that family bloodline will carry on at some point. Well, maybe not in one case, but yeah, you know, we need that. I mean, I don't have a problem with mixed race marriages. I know plenty of mixed couples in the past that have had a wonderful life, and they're both loving parents, and the kids love the family. But it gets to the point now where the kids will get taunted, the kids will get picked on. My daughter had 5 kids before she found out was gay. That's the sort of comment I'd expect from you, Moo.
No, the 80s and the 90s, we didn't even have all this problem.
No.
You know, you go out to a pub, there'll be a black bloke, there'll be a brown bloke, there'll be a butch-looking lass in corner with tattoos, you know, with a girlfriend. Yeah, you know, people but started coming out once the hysteria over AIDS had died down and everything. That were another scare tactic, wasn't it? Oh, they do like scaring us, don't they?
Oh,
You know, there'll be people that different ethnicities in pub getting on, no problem. But now it's all being ramped up and rammed down your throats, and I can't help but think it's been done on purpose.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And they've been pushing the narrative like that for years now, or at least the last 10 years. It's been heading this way. If you look back to what was reported 10 years ago about minorities and stuff like that, but because they've given all these little fractions airtime, promoted them, they think they can come out and do whatever the fuck they like. Well, yes, they can do that anyway by law. You know, there's no law to say you can't be gay. There's no law to say you can't say you're different to who you are. You're something different. But when you come out and start pushing it in the public, shouting about it, putting it in people's faces, that's where this goes wrong. I've never had a problem with gays, lesbians, or any of those type people. I've worked with them. I've had them as friends. And I've never had a problem with them, and they never had a problem with me. But now that divide has been created between straight people and these other fractions. And that's what they were intending to do. And that's where the splitting us up comes in. They knew they were doing it, and it's all planned. And that is from a higher level than our government, believe me. This is happening all around the world. It's not just here. And, you know, yeah, okay, it's a liberal world. People are learning new things. They're seeing new things. They're trying new things. But to me, now I'm not saying just them. I'm just picking on the alphabet people, as they're called now, as I call them, the rainbow runners.
Yeah, well, if gay people and lesbians don't particularly get on with them.
No, but they're actively recruiting and
So
saying,
why are
you
they
should
putting in
come
the
and join
same
us.
bracket LGBTQA+, whatever? Lesbians and gays do not like the alphabet people. They don't generally get on with them. So why is it you've got an activist like that Peter Tatchell that was pushing for gay rights, pushing, right, you've got gay rights. You can even get married and adopt children. He's out of a job, so now he's jumped onto the LGBTQ plus what have you bandwagon as well, because otherwise he'd be out of a job. It just seems that just as you get equality through legislation, the activists ask for even more.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where you've got people dressing up in bondage gear, parading up and down the streets in pride parades, and there's children there watching. I've got an issue with that.
Well, you look, was it Spain or Italy where they were dressing the kids up like it?
Yeah, it's not right.
And they were being rewarded with sweets for doing so. Now, were them kids doing it of their own free will? I don't think so. I think they were pushed into it by adults.
Yeah, the parents want to appear virtuous and they push the kids into it.
Yeah. Yep. It's
virtue signaling. There's an American B or C list of actress and she's got 4 kids. Every single one of them is trans. What's the chances of that?
no, I don't believe that the kids should be given the choice so young either. Yes, I mean, some of them, they say, oh, well, they're confused. They got mixed up emotions. Yes, because you've installed that shit in their heads.
Yeah, but when I
You know?
was a kid, I was a tomboy. I didn't want to be a girly girl, and I still don't. But I was a tomboy. I wasn't confused about my sexuality. I just wanted to be treated like boys were. It
Yeah.
was different for boys. Boys could get away with fucking murder.
I mean, you look at the hassle women had in the past. Now, there was, this was before my time, believe it or not. So it's quite some years ago. There was a coloured woman that decided she was going to ride across America on a motorcycle. She was persecuted everywhere she went because she was wearing leather trousers and a leather jacket. I believe it was in possibly the 20s, latest 30s. I can't remember what her name was. But there was a big hoo-ha about this. It got out in the American press that this woman was riding across America.
Well, women weren't allowed to wear trousers.
No. And so every town she visited on her way across was forewarned that she was coming. So people were coming out, protesting, trying to knock her off her bloody motorbike. Now it's acceptable for women to ride motorcycles, and more are coming back to riding them as well. Instead, at the moment, there's a lot more of them coming back to riding motorcycles. Heather used to ride one, and the idea of the female way of life has been gone for a long time. A long time. Women are a lot more liberal. They want to do more things. Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we share the work in the house here. Heather does most of the cooking, but everything else we share. You know, we used to get that in the past. The bloke used to come home. His tea used to be put on the table in front of him. The woman was expected to keep the house clean.
And when the woman isn't going out to work, that's acceptable. But when the roles start getting reversed, then, you know, the man has to pick up women shouldn't have to do a full day's work and a full day's mothering and housework.
No. And if you're bringing up kids, you need time at home because kids need the parents imprinting on them. And the thing is, the parents nowadays aren't imprinting the right things on their kids. They're not installing the values. They're not installing the morals. They think the school are going to do it. No, all the schools are doing is brainwashing the poor little bastards. And that's why we've got this generation coming out now that's so woke. They think they're entitled to everything. Unbelievable.
The problem is if you look at kids when they actually realise that they're never, no matter how hard they work, it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to wait later on in life before they meet somebody and start a family. It's getting more and more difficult for them to put down roots physically. They're competing with other people and being shoved to the back of the queue for social housing. And if they're both working and they've got reasonable, decent jobs, it's still going to be difficult for them to even buy their own house. I mean, we got these sort of people in the 1970s, grew up in the 70s, saying, "Oh, I grew up in the 70s and we had 15% annual inflation. We managed to buy our house." But the thing is, in the 70s, it was about 4 times the average national salary. Now it's over 10 times. And good luck if you're in London. So they're disheartened. Part of me doesn't blame them because they're looking at the life chances. They're looking now at the millennials coming through, and they're the first generation of kids are going to be worse off than the parents, no matter how hard they work. I feel sorry for them.
Average house price the year I was born was £2,200.
You even taking into account inflation over 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whenever, 50 years. it's still massively more than inflation. Assets in terms of property have gone through the roof.
Yeah. Well, when my gran died, and I mean, I'm going back, 20 years or so now. Now, she had a beautiful big bungalow with a lot of land around it. The land back and front garden, you could have built 3 or 4 houses back and front. Now, I know that she bought that house for just over £600 when she bought it, brand new, 600 quid. And when that was sold, I mean, 20 years ago, it was a lot of money. It went for over 500,000.
Mm.
You know, and you got to think as well, the average wage back then for a general manual worker was about 15 quid, less than 20 quid a week. Yet people still managed to buy houses at £2,500.
Yeah.
And now you've got to, if you're young enough, even singles can do it. You got these government schemes, part owned, this, that, and the other. That is not owning your own home. That is putting yourself in debt to the government for the rest of your fucking life, because you'll never end up paying it off. It's just another way the government are making money. Same with inheritance tax. Now, I've always totally disagreed with that. Your parents have bought a house, they paid tax on it. When they bought it, everything that goes into it, you've paid tax on it. Why should you have to pay an extra tax now just because you've died and you want to hand it on to your kids? That thing is bought and paid for. There should never be another tax go on the place. It's just a rip-off government. Always has been.
We're more heavily taxed now as a nation when we were in 1954 when rationing ended. The award finished in 45, but rationing didn't end until 9 years later. We're more heavily taxed by stealth taxes, direct taxes, indirect taxes, inheritance taxes.
Absolutely.
And now everybody's got to have a university degree in order to fucking dig a hole in the road. So therefore, you've got your student debt. On top of that, you're entering the workforce later on. So that skews the unemployment figures. And straight away, you're in debt. Now, people who are in debt are much more compliant and we're much more willing to take orders and just hope for the best. And who was it said education, education, education? The Dark Lord. He's got a lot to answer for, that man.
Well,
I've got to go, Roger, because the wife's
we'll
booking me.
another
She's
10
got to go out and
minutes.
I've got to babysit, so I've got to bail. Sorry, Pat. Right, got to go.
No worries, mate. No worries. I say we only got about another 10 minutes left till my shutdown time anyway. So
No doubt I'll run into you all on Sunday. Have a good weekend, folks.
I dare say you will, mate. It's be there or be square, isn't it? Shane, right.
Thanks for dropping in, love.
Yeah, cheers for dropping in, Loaf. Appreciate that, mate. What's going on in the chat there? Sean, I don't want to be. No, I totally agree with that, Sean. I mean, the thing is, you had a choice back then. You know, if someone, I mean, I had it with some of the gay chaps in the factory. We all used to drink down the pub together on a Friday dinner time. And most of them knew I was a straight guy. You didn't do anything. You didn't even approach me with that sort of thing. But yes, one or two didn't know about the rules. And they would still come over and try and chat you up. So you'd politely turn them down. Look, the lads will tell you I'm not that way inclined. You know, if you still don't want to stand and have a beer next to me, absolutely fine. But you're not going to get anywhere with me. Now that today, if you did that, there'd be someone say, oh, it's a hate crime. You know, you're against gays and you're against, you know, that's the bit that pisses me off. You can't turn someone down without them turning on you and accusing you of doing something. Yeah, that's another thing, Paulette. You know, everybody seems to think the youngsters nowadays that have got young kids, they expect everybody else to bring their kids up for them. And this is where they're going wrong. My age group, we were not brainwashed, but we were educated more in life by our parents than anybody ever did. Well, I'll say that, the odd one or two police officers tried to educate me when I'd been naughty, but
I'm sorry, my kids couldn't go to nursery if they weren't potty trained.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
It's-
accept them.
people nowadays seem to forget that if you create an action or you do something, if there's a reaction to it, that's your responsibility. But those reactions have got worse and worse and worse. Now, if you listen to some people, a man's supposed to walk down the street or travel on a train or a bus looking at the floor. He shouldn't look at a woman. That is not going to get us anywhere. And it does put blokes off dating. I mean, the dating scene back in my day was go to a pub, go to a club, meet somebody. Now it's sit for a few hours on the internet. Oh, I quite fancy that one. Let's go and shag that. Let's try it before we date it. That's not going to keep a society going.
Oh, you got tried before you bought.
Well, you be honest, you don't buy a pair of shoes without trying them on first, do you? You know, if it don't fit, she won't kiss it. But you know what I mean? It's everything is online now. And that is very, very worrying. Because there's going to will become a time where all of a sudden the internet's not going to be available. What are people going to do then to communicate? Because they've actually lost the art of communication face to face. And that will screw the whole world up more than anything. If the internet is lost through whatever, balloon goes up, Big Bang, whatever, once the internet has gone, we are fucked as a race because people just do not communicate anymore. What reactions to that are we going to get in the chat? Bear in mind, you've only got about 10 minutes to do it. Yeah, CB time drone. They do monitor it now, as we know. But to be quite honest, with the sort of weapons they got they're out there now, they could possibly kill that as well. They knew this a while back, and that's why a lot of the landline cables are still in and still will be left in, because in a state of an emergency, that is the way the army, government, and people like that will communicate.
But they're actually talking about killing landlines now because hardly anybody has them.
Yeah, but they'll
And
leave them in place.
But it'll go VoIP. It'll go VoIP, voice over internet protocol.
No, it won't. The cables are still in the ground and they still use them. The military and the government are still connected by landlines, and they always will be.
Because BT won't give you a landline.
No, I know. That's what I was saying. You know, very few people use them. Yes, Sean, it is. People don't communicate. They don't talk to each other. They don't look at each other's faces. I mean, I said this to somebody on the internet the other day. You look at how people communicate. It's usually through an avatar and an alias. Now, this is why when I started my channel on here and Facebook and the other platforms I've been on, I use my real name. I will put my own face in a video. I will put my own face in a live stream because I don't hide from anybody. You know, I mean, many of you guys in here, whether you're using your real names or not, I presume you are, because they are real. Well, Moo Moa, that might be a bit suspect. but most of you use what I would class as a name. You know, it's I just don't like hiding.
Yeah, but Moo explained that's his nickname.
Yes,
Everybody
he
calls him
did.
Moo.
He did.
I think it was his if I remember correctly, it was his grandchildren started calling him Moo, like Grandad.
Yeah. Well, it's like youngers calling me Grandad Gorgeous, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now you're Grandad Grumpy.
Yeah, now I'm Grandad Grumpy. But Right, I'm going to call it there, guys and ladies, of course, being as it's your day today. I can't forget that. It's International Ladies' Day. So
I'll
if
go
you're
and
not,
cook tea then.
yep, you can go and cook tea, and you've got to do it on Mother's Day as well, don't you? Unfortunately, that was badly organised. But yeah, don't forget, guys, I will put the alert out that next week's live will be on Wednesday evening. Hopefully, we might get a few more in. Doesn't really matter if we don't, because you guys are great. You're always respectful. And, you know, I just want to say hello on my birthday as well. Considering a few years ago, I never thought I'd ever reach this age. Well, I'm still not convinced that I'm going to, but there's a few days between now and then. But as always, guys, thank you for dropping in. You've been amazing. We have. It's gone quite quick today. We've had some good conversations there. But as always, a big thank you from me, and a big thank you to Mrs. W in the background there. As always, my tech support. She does support me in more ways than people will ever know on here, and what she does for this channel. But until Wednesday, I will say, as always, stay safe, stay strong. Don't let them get you. Stay free. Respects, people.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.